So what's up, guys? We're going to experience the we're going to experience the power of Facebook messaging marketing. So Facebook Messenger marketing, whatever that is, that's what we're going to experience. First, we're just going to wait for somebody from this group who wants to talk about Facebook Messenger marketing. He wants to basically build a chat bot. We're going to wait for him to get here, and then once he gets here, we're going to chat with him about that. Oh, I totally need a mic. Totally, I'm gonna need a mic whenever he joins in, so the mic's really necessary. So it makes this process so much easier to be able to actually have the verbal interaction. So that verbal interaction is what actually facilitates this, Bubbie, and makes it so much easier. So, is it possible that you call in with your phone, man? Is that possible? There should be some call-in number where you can call in with your. Can you hear me? Can you chat in the box, Bubbie, and let me know if you can call in or something like that. If there's any way that we could do the verbal, because having that conversation is essentially what we want to do right now. We want to have this conversation about this and figure out what you're really wanting to do there, so that we can actually start doing it. Like I said, the verbal makes the process so much easier, man. I mean, we got to have some type of two-way communication. That we can do the chat, but it's just a much more delayed. So, can you call in on your phone? Is that possible? That should have a number, yeah. So if you're on your phone, you should see join audio with phone where you can call in. So there should be a call in number. Let me look and see if I can actually find it. Um, so let me see if I can actually figure out how to get rid of this audio options. So there, I put it in the box for you. All right, you see it in the box there. So I put it in the box the phone numbers that you can call, and then what the meeting ID is. So I actually put the meeting ID on top of the last phone number on accident. But it looks like there's 3 different phone numbers that you can call for this meeting. And the meeting ID keeps going on the last one. It keeps getting added on top of it for some reason. That's the meeting ID, that last thing. And for some reason, it keeps adding that on top of the. So let's give Bubbie 1 second to call in and do the actual audio. Now it looks like he left the actual. It looks like he actually left the meeting. So essentially, what we were going to talk about is he wants to do this. So say that you're back on the meeting link, Bubbie. I see that, but I'm not sure if you have audio or not on on that part. The meeting ID's here in chat. It's 372-971-2318. So I put that in chat, the meeting ID. It's right there. That's the meeting ID. Probably be best if you connect from your computer for the Zoom meeting, and then from your phone, you just dial in. So I see this didn't actually fire off. Let's go look at that while I'm waiting on you, Bubbie. Participant ID. I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
Yeah, and I can hear myself through. So seems like you have me on speaker there.
All right.
Yeah, well that seems better, yeah.
Okay.
So you
I can hear you.
Great. So we can hear each other then now. So that's great. And you can see my screen too?
Yes, sir.
So you can see my screen from a computer or from your phone?
I'm at my desktop.
Okay, so you can see my screen from my screen from your computer, no problem, right?
Right.
Great. So you
You're
wanted
in the Facebook Messenger bot training group now.
Yeah, I'm looking at this you, right?
Mm-hmm. That's me.
So I'm looking at this, so let's just talk about that. Kind of tell me what you're wanting to do there, and let's try to see how we can go in and actually do that and what you're talking about.
Okay. I am having really, really great success on my blog with blog commenting because I do a lot of blog commenting. So I've come up with an idea to place in all of my blog comments that if you have any further questions, to message me.
Okay.
And it's a link to the mini chat landing page that I created.
Okay.
So anybody that comes to my blog and sees a past comment and it says message me, they can click the button and boom, they're taken straight to the landing page of mini chat.
Yeah, well, we can bypass that. There's no need for that. All right, we can bypass that. I mean, if you got them clicking a link, if they're already clicking a link, you might as well give them a ref link instead of giving them a link to subscribe on your mini chat landing page. You might as well just give them a ref link, because as soon as they click that ref link, they're in your bot as a subscriber already. So they don't have to fool with the mini chat landing page or anything. You can just dump them right into Messenger. Now they're a subscriber. Now they're a subscriber, and you can be asking them, hey, what further question did you need?
Okay. Basically that's how I get the flow started off. Is there any way for me to be able to share my screen so you could see the actual flow?
Yeah. So you can just go in and share your screen right now, man. You just have to go in and share it now. There you go.
All right. Now let's see if I can get up here. This is in the way. Can you see my screen? Oh, there it goes.
Yep, you can see it just fine.
I'm trying to. That little box keeps coming up, and I can't get to my menu. Let's see. Menu. Oh, there it is. Okay. This is the welcome landing page for when they go to the mini chat. I mean, when they click on, I'll give you an example of what the post looks like too. I can't. This stuff's in the way. I got mini chat down here. All right, this is the little landing page that I made. That if they click on any of the links that I have messaged me, whether it's on Q&A sites or my blog comments and so forth, they'll be taken to this landing page where they can send me a message. That's my intention.
Okay.
And you're saying that I don't have to do that?
Right, because what you're doing right now is from your blog. Essentially, what you're doing is how many clicks are you creating from them? All right, from your blog, you're sending them to that landing page. They have to click that button to subscribe, and then they have to click that button again to go view the message that you just sent them in Messenger. Why not just route them to a ref URL and drop them directly into Messenger with whatever message you want to actually deliver to them instead of making them click a button again? No real need to do that.
Okay, how do I get a reference URL? Is that this one right?
That's in your growth tools.
Okay, growth tools.
Now you just create a new growth tool.
Okay.
Now you just pick that Messenger ref URL.
Oh, right here.
That one.
Okay, so I hadn't been experimenting with all the others. I mean, there's so much in this thing.
Yeah.
But boy, the motherfucker that gets the man that gets this stuff down is gonna make.
Hey man, you can say motherfucker as many times as you want here. I don't have a censor, man. I don't care about any of that. So if but you're right, the motherfucker who understands this and can understand it good can make a lot of money in this, especially right now because these things have not hit their radar yet, and they're about to get real trendy where everybody. I mean, in the next 2 years, 80% of businesses right now, let's say 15% of businesses have chatbots are using chatbots. In the next 2 years, 80% of businesses are going to be using chatbots. So how much fucking growth is in the next 2 years? I mean, it's about
in the next couple of years, right?
Yep, it's literally about to take off. So if you can come in and learn it now and understand it now, then you can be in the first wave of actually monetizing it and selling it to people and providing it as a service. And once they get locked in, and that's the beauty of something like this, is once you lock in a client here, that client is going to stay with you and as long as you do your job properly, they're going to stay with you a long time because you're managing their messenger marketing and they're seeing the return there and they're seeing how fucking badass of a tool that it is. And they started with you introduced them with it. They're most likely, if you take care of them, they're just going to stay with you and constantly because you're the one that introduced them to that thing. Why would they change?
And like you said, it's just the first wave just fixing to come in. Okay, but I got this Messenger URL thing here.
Correct.
What do I do with it?
Now, let's say you just click next. Now you just grab that link right there, and that same place where you're going to put in that landing page link, you just put that link in. And whenever a user clicks on that link, now as soon as they click on that link, now they're instantly a subscriber inside your bot, and they've been delivered whatever message that you have attached to that ref link. And it can be whatever message that you want.
Okay, I'm feeling you on that. So I would use an anchor text like message me and drop this link for them to click. It's going to take them to Messenger and automatically put them in my bot.
automatically put them in that bot in that particular flow, whatever. Now, ManyChat will create a generic flow automatically with you, but then allows you to go in. If you go to the opt-in actions, you just go to the opt-in actions, and then you can see that they've already created a generic message for you called growth
Right.
tool number 17, but you can replace that
Right.
with any other flow that you have. So
Mm-hmm.
you could replace
Mm-hmm.
that with your welcome message. You could obviously go in and build a flow for each. You could build a flow for each literal blog post, or you could build a flow for categories because you're releasing blog posts. You got some categories for that blog post. So you can create a flow for that category of blog post. And then when they click on that link, then they're going to be presented with a question that said, hey, did you like my post about this category? Are you wanting to ask a question? Or are you wanting to find more posts? And if they hit ask a
Right.
question and say, hey, what's that question? Then notify yourself that a user's asked a question so that you can go in and either resolve it or comment on it or whatever. Or if they say, hey, I just want more blog posts about this category, then you must be knowing, you must have some information in your library of blog posts where you have them categorized, and you can just say, well, here's 5 more blog posts about this category. Do you want more? Or you
Exactly.
want category? So yeah, we can do that. Totally.
That's exactly what I do that with my email marketing. If somebody opts in to get a Facebook cheat sheet, for example, I don't start sending them Instagram and YouTube shit. I send them, segregate them and say, this is Facebook. And whenever I do a Facebook post, they're sure to get it and so forth.
Right.
But, okay. So I can change that.
Payload. You can change the payload, or you can essentially change the flow.
Right. Where's it at again? I don't want to create another one. Is this it right here?
Yeah, it's that one that has that little infinite circle looking thing. So
I want to replace it.
What you should do, obviously, is you should go in and name that growth tool. One, name it something that you understand that is written. It's a written reference of what that tool's for, what it's for, where you're going to put it at, and your flow as well. Name your flow something meaningful to you. So like you kind of have one. That landing page opt-in message, that's the message that you're currently delivering to right now, because currently what you're doing is they're clicking a link, they're going to that arbitrary opt-in page to click another button, where essentially you're going to deliver them this landing page opt-in message. So you could, if you select that flow and use that flow, you could replace that whole having to click a link, because they've already clicked the link, so why click another button?
So if I'm understanding you correctly, and I'm sure I am, I create the ref link, and I put in, because I created this flow. It took me all night to make this one.
Yeah, so just select that flow.
If they clicked on send me a message, they got this message flow right here.
Right. If they
so in the case you're talking, I'm going to replace that.
Correct. Now just hit select this flow at the bottom. You picked that, so now just hit select this flow at the bottom.
Okay, so now they get this flow.
Now they'll get that. Now they'll get that landing page opt-in. Correct.
Without having to send a message.
Well, without having to go to your landing page and click that button that says, yes, send me this message. They'll just automatically get that. And if you know a little coding skills, then you can essentially, just because they come to your blog, you can, even without having them click that link, you can put them into your bot, because you can just you can load a script that opens up a pop-up in the new window. It just opens up that link in a new window, and that link will put them into your bot. And now if they're logged in on Facebook, if they're not logged in on Facebook, then clicking that, then when you open up that new tab, it's not going to essentially put them put them in your bot, because they need to authenticate in Facebook. But if they're already authenticated in Facebook, when you open that link in that new tab, just because they hit your blog, now they're dropped into your bot as a bot subscriber.
Okay. All right. So I did a little magic here, and I learned one little thing or two at a time. And one of the newest things I learned, like day before yesterday was how you was adding in the delays, and it looks as if somebody's actually typing and getting the message to them. So I thought that was cool.
That is really cool.
It is. Now, here's something else that I'm going to have a question with. Now, first off, when they click message me, they're finding me either on question and answer forums and things like that. And it brings them to this, and I ask them where they're having trouble. and I give them three choices: generating leads, help on my blog, and I don't need help.
Right.
Okay, I thought I lost you. Can you still see my page?
Yeah, I can see your page just fine.
Okay, because the Zoom thing's in the way here. All right. So then I tell them when they say they have problems generating leads, I tell them I'm sorry to hear that. Give them a few seconds. This is all one long continual message. This was all one continual message.
I don't see your screen anymore, by the way.
Okay. It's asking me to do it again. You should see it now.
Not yet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I can see it now.
Can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay, now here's the thing that's got me is I could start this flow. All right, they've dropped into my bot. Here's the first message they get. Boom. They got these three choices. Now I've created this big flow, and it ain't big compared to yours, but it's pretty big to me.
Right.
But could I have taken and put like the first part of this message here? If they click generating leads, sorry to hear you're having problems, and boom, send them to a sequence.
Yeah, of
that's
course.
going to talk about generating leads.
Yeah, of course.
You know, do you think that would be best, or do you like the way I've got it set up here, where like each answer is
well
just taking you to the next part of the flow?
Let me first make sure you know how to do something. Okay, so this is your landing page opt-in message. So first go to your flows.
Okay, I can't see you anymore, but I can hear you. Oh, you're coming up.
Okay. Yeah, I can't see your screen anymore, by the way. So your screen disappeared.
Okay. All right, I'm in my flows.
Okay. There you go. All right. So what you want to do is that one that is the landing page opt-in message, click those little three dots. Click those little three dots all the way on the right side of them. See those three dots? There you go. Click on that. And then click share this flow. And then enable sharing, that link sharing. Enable that link sharing.
That's not what it said. Trying to move this bar out of the way. All right, yeah, this enable sharing.
Yeah, enable that link sharing. And then give me that link. Just copy that link to the clipboard. Yeah, you see that button that says copy to clipboard. Just click that and then give it to me here in this chat, in this Zoom chat. That way I can easier see what that flow is actually doing.
Yeah. I'm trying to oh, it might work now. There it is. All right, let's see. Chat. Trying to see where the damn chat. There it is. All right, so the way we just did that.
Now I can see that. Now I can. You just go to those three little buttons and hit share this flow, and then that essentially gives me a thing that I can preview and I can test it out and
A
actually see it.
link.
Yeah, I can see it in action working, so I can see how it actually works, and I can experience it through Messenger myself. But then I can also go in and just look at it and see the flow itself and the structure that you have, and actually zoom in and walk through it myself.
Right.
See what
Right.
you're doing. So you got them generating leads here. So if they hit generate leads, then essentially there's no way to there's no way to there's no way to get them.
Are you trying to think of opt in?
Well, there's no way here for them to get back to this. There's no way here for them to get back to. There's no way for them to move backwards, and there's no interconnection. So they go. So here for me, all right. If you just want to stop sharing your screen, and then you can kind of watch my screen real quick, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Okay.
All right, let me zoom you in.
So essentially what I'm seeing here, all right, is you got this first step right here. And from this step, you got 3 options. All right. So
That's just so fucking cool to be able to do this.
this is how, well, that's one of the benefits of being in the group, man. So hopefully it has a value to you to be able to get somebody to go in and actually help you and do this together. And it has a value to the participants because there's 6 other people here with us that are actually watching this. And that's one of the powers of Messenger platform. Now there's another person, and that's it. And really that's literally just a preview of the power of this tool to be able to just go in. And literally while we were talking, while you were showing me things, I just went in and actually did a broadcast. So I did one of these broadcasts right here, this one, and just told
that we were having this meeting.
Yeah, that we're doing a live training if you guys want to take advantage of it. And now just like that, live through that audience, there's 10 people now on this through that.
So exactly.
It is really
that's
powerful.
The power of this damn chat bot.
So what I'm seeing though is that you've got literally 2 distinct flows and then a little dead end guy. All right. So if this was me, what I would be doing is, if this was my flow, I would have chopped this up into 2 distinct flows. This guy right here, you see this little line right here? You see how he routes over here? And then this guy's connected to this guy's connected to this guy, and this guy. And then all these guys are connected to these guys. And then these guys are connected to these guys. And then these guys are connected to these guys. But there's no way that these guys get to anybody down here. And there's no way that these guys get to anybody up here. These is kind of like a one-way direction. So for me, if this was me and this was my flow, all right, my flow would look essentially something like, I don't even know whose flow this. I don't even know whose flow that is. So I definitely don't want to mess with that one. So essentially my flow, if that was my flow would look something like this. This is called landing page opt-in. All right. So my flow would essentially look something like this, where I'd have this guy, right? So I'd have that guy. And this guy right here would essentially be being this guy. And this guy would essentially be being this guy. And this guy would essentially be being this guy. All right. Because now that makes it a lot easier for me to actually understand what's going on there, especially considering the fact that here, that's essentially what you have. What would be locked up in this guy would I would go in and reference some other flow. What flow would I reference? Well, he doesn't exist right now. So that flow I'd actually have to create, and I would see that this is generating leads. So I'd have some new flow here that's called generating leads. All right, so I'd build this new flow, and then inside that flow, I'd start to grab this stuff. So I'd start to copy and paste this stuff right here. All right, and I'd build out this actual flow. So this flow would be this process starting here. All right, so essentially I'd have that guy, and then this guy would have whatever he has. He's got some text block, text 1. He's got a delay. He's got text 2. right? He's got a delay, another text, and then some buttons. So he's got another delay, another text, and then some buttons. And then these buttons are going to 3 more blocks, right? So that essentially would happen like that. This guy would go into those other 3 blocks. And I think now that you get the point what I'm actually doing, right? What I'm doing now is I'm just going to go take this unit, which I can't do here because I don't have any copy and paste rights. But essentially, I would take, starting with this guy, I would take him all the way up to this guy, and I would grab all these things right here, all these elements that are connected by this arrow. This arrow one-way routes into this one-way conversation. You can see here, right? And I guess I could do it like this. What I would essentially do is, here's my one flow, right? There's my one flow. Here's my second flow. And I'm actually not sure about this guy, where he actually goes. Well, this guy doesn't go anywhere. If you see that, this guy I would just delete because that guy doesn't belong there, because it doesn't do anything. So that thing does nothing at all right there. So I would get rid of that thing because he literally does nothing. So there's
Were you talking about my action?
Yeah,
that
guy right there. So this action's not doing anything. He's not connected to anybody. Nobody's connected to him. He's literally
I thought it connected to the box at the end, and that was my tag for him.
There's nothing connected.
If they click that button, that they would be tagged.
There's nothing connected.
Oh, he's not connected to anything.
Look,
okay.
Neither one of those guys are connected to anything. So
okay, yeah, that's from the work I was doing this morning.
Yeah, they're useless things. So, anyways, like I said, what I would do is I would essentially do that. I would chop this guy up into one flow right here, because he is distinctly one flow. So this guy right here would end up becoming one of my flows, and then this would be my other flow, whatever this is. All right. Unless initially, that's my initial thought. Now outside of that initial thought, we need to go in and actually look and see what you're doing here to see if this is actually correct and this is what you want to do, or if you do in fact want to have some way where in here you're actually referencing some guy to be able to put him inside here as well. And you're doing that.
I like exactly what you're saying, because what it does is it segregates them into congruent. Because see, the first circle you did, that's network marketing. The bottom one is blogging. And so I'd like to have them segmented. Now, well, how's that going to affect, or how do I set that up? Because the whole reason I'm here instead of in a sequence is because I don't understand sequences yet.
Well, a sequence, you understand the concept of an autoresponder, right?
Right.
So in an autoresponder, in a traditional autoresponder, you put somebody on that list and they're on your newsletter, basically. They're going to get a series of nurturing messages. That's what that sequence is. That sequence is that series of nurturing messages. When I start you out on this sequence, I'm going to give you this message. And then tomorrow I'm going to give you this message. And then 2 days later, I'm going to check back with you, give you this other message.
Exactly. That's what.
Yeah, it's your traditional autoresponder, like you would
okay. Now here we are. If you look at the first box, it's got the green. He's first. Then you could choose the first button.
Correct, and then you're routed.
And from they get routed. Okay, the first one is Facebook, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Now, could I start the second flow right there? If they click Facebook, they would be routed to the Facebook flow.
Well, yes, essentially and that would be more of a preference for me, is because essentially, look what we're doing here. To me, we're going to break that down even further. Where what we've got.
This is my way of re-saying what you just shared with me.
Well, this would essentially be one flow right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This would essentially be one flow right there.
Uh-huh.
This would essentially
that would be the third
one flow right there. And then there would be a fourth flow, which would essentially be this guy who's connected to this guy, and this guy. So this guy is a really generic flow. We already pseudo made him, right? So we've already pseudo made him where he is right here, right? So The only difference is we would go in and replace these guys. Right now, they're messages, right? We would replace these guys with go-tos, all right? So we've essentially now done that.
You don't have the ability, you said, but I can go in there and just copy paste.
Correct. Now you can I can go in there and copy paste too. If you just go in, if you go in to, you see where I'm at? If you go in here, all right? If you go in here and you grab one of your flows, let's say email lead capture, this guy. Oh shit, sorry about that. Let's try that again. Email lead capture. If you come in here and you hit share this flow and you enable link sharing, but you also do this, allow viewers to clone this flow, then I can just clone this flow right into my bot, and then I can start copy and pasting and editing it and change it, and then basically essentially give it back to you. Or you either have that route, or you can come in here to your settings, and you can come in here to your admin, and you can hit invite new, and you can give me this link, and then I can do it really easy. And that's
Hold
what
on.
some of these are. Some of these are other people's bots, and they're just like, John, you do it, because I know you could teach me.
They go into settings, admins, invite new,
and then get that link right there.
Holy cow! Now that means anybody on my team,
anybody that has a mini chat account, can now click that link and have access to that bot. They're not a Facebook page administrator, but they are an administrator if they have a mini chat account. Now, when they log into their mini chat account, that will be a bot that they're able to administer. And you can go in at any time and you can remove them where they don't have access to it anymore. And that link, I hate to tell you, buddy, but you've already done it now. But that link you probably didn't want to put in the Zoom chat because there's like 10 other people. And I can't, I mean, I think those are all cool people and shit. I think they're all good people, but I can't really vouch for those people. So you just want to, I do want you to be aware that you just put that in the Zoom link. So now anybody that's here in this meeting can click that. They can click that link and have administrative rights to this page. So you want to go in now.
Oh, hell, all they could do. I kind of got a saying that says if somebody was to ever rob me, they'd feel bad and give me money. So if anybody admined in there, they could only help.
So just so you know, I just want you to be aware that link's only valid for 24 hours. So you just need to monitor it for 24 hours. Make sure there's no unknown people in there that shouldn't actually be in there. And then after 24 hours, anybody with that link, they can't do anything with that link anymore. It expires. So now,
awesome.
Now, essentially, yes, I can go back in and just remove these guys, and I could show you exactly what I would do by coming in here to this guy and actually picking this guy, and then come in here, and then we'll just do exactly what is here. So first, let's get rid of this stuff right here. And then we'll essentially come in here and grab this guy, and hey, let's edit him first. So now let's grab this guy right here, copy him, create a new flow. This new flow is going to be called generating leads. All right. And then we're also going to come in here and we're just going to copy this guy right here. We're going to duplicate him. And then we're going to rename him to he is this thing. And we're just going to assign him JV so that you know that came from JV. All right. And then now we'll go edit that guy. We already have this guy here. So essentially we just need to paste that guy in there, come down here, grab this thing. All right. And then get rid of that guy. And then we need to do that. All right. So now we just need to start chopping stuff up. And what we're going to actually chop up is we're going to chop up essentially this, because we don't need that. Right. We don't need that at all. And then we also don't need any of this. So we don't need any of that. So we do want to, while we're here, we want to go ahead and copy that while we're here, and then go back in and actually look and see what is that. That is help my, let's say, that says help my blog. All right, so we're going to go ahead and create that while we're here. Since we're already here and we're going to destroy this, we're just going to create that help my blog. And then we'll edit that. And then we'll have that right there. Now this, I think we would actually ultimately leave like this because we do have some, because how I would evaluate this is if you look, we don't have, and those other ones, we've had a very clear cut route this way, right? And the other ones, we've had a very clear cut that. Here, we don't actually have that, okay? We've got a route this way, but we do have, and so we've got a guy coming down here. We've got a guy coming down here, right? And that's what we're referring to when we do this route this way, okay? We've got this one flow that's coming this side, and then we've got pretty much a straight linear process this way. We also have it here. We've got this one line coming this way, and he leads into this straight linear process here. But we don't essentially have, we've had that in our other flows that we've started to dissect. And this one we don't, because we have this interconnection from here to there, right? So essentially what that is telling us is that this flow here and this flow here are interdependent on each other because of this connection. So we don't really want to chop these down into two separate flows like we're doing with the other one. The other one, we're chopping these down into two separate flows. Why?
Right.
Because they're not interconnected at all.
Because they're independent.
Right. And since they're independent, we want to have them more modular. If we can't do that to this one, because it's not independent like that. So for this one, we're just going to leave this one just like this. All right. And this one's done.
Let's see, I watched, you posted in the group a screen, anybody wanting a screenshot of one of your flows. And I noticed the interconnecting, like I did from where your hand's at right now, that line that carries it back up to the top.
Right.
You know, that connects both sets of flows, that one.
Right.
I seen that you did that, so I just tried it to see how it would work out. I mean, did I do it right?
Well, essentially, sure. If you have any more questions afterwards, just message me. Okay. Here's a video. It's only a few minutes. Awesome. I should be more. It shouldn't be more than an hour. On this call, will about an hour be okay with you for your coaching call? That's perfect. So essentially, conceptually, you've done it right. I don't know if you've accomplished the marketing effect that you wanted to do, because here I don't know. I can't tell you right now until we actually go in and evaluate your entire process, where you're starting and what we're actually doing here, whether you should be routing them here or not. And this is an appropriate destination for them based on where they're at in this dialogue. But essentially, conceptually, sure, you've done it right. You've just grabbed them from here and you've routed them in there. So conceptually, yeah, you've done it right. Should they actually get to this destination, are both of these, is this click and this click, do they both merit the fact that now at this time we want to present the user with this information? Maybe, maybe not.
With that video, right.
We'll figure that out in a second, okay?
I didn't even, now look, this is what's going on with this flow. This is the flow for my slide out widget on my blog.
Well, this flow says it's the landing page opt-in is what this flow says. So this flow says
I copied it. Yeah, I copied it. But if you check the growth tools, I got a slide in. Oh, we're still on that one. Okay. I don't want to sidetrack you.
This is this flow here. What we've done essentially right now, okay, this is your landing page opt-in. What we've done essentially so far is we've broken this down All right. We've take this guy and we've chopped him up.
Right.
All right. We've take this
And
guy
took him the hell out of there.
and we've chopped him up. Okay. Now this guy right here is now this guy right here. All right. That's him.
Mm-hmm.
That's that same guy right there. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So we've chopped him up and isolated him here all by himself. And then we also have this other guy up here, and we've started to actually isolate that guy where he's right here. All right. So, and essentially he is right there. That's that guy right there. So now what I'm thinking that we want to do here, and the reason why is because this kind of follows that same thing that we talked about before. If you look what's actually going on here, all right, if we actually really look and dissect this flow and see what you're doing, we can see that we've got this really, really one-way linear non-dependent conversation that's happening here in this flow. All right. So we can easily see that you've got a place that comes from here, a place that comes from here, a place that comes from here. And once you get to each of these places, you have a very linear flow from here to there to there. All three of these guys are interdependent. So I'm going to chop those guys up as well here.
Right. But is the flow right itself? Is the flow right?
Well, and so there's no easy answer for that, Bubbie. There's no real easy answer for that other than let's go in and actually look and figure out what is it that you're trying to do here. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? If we know that, then we can say.
I'm concerned when you say like this one here is linear, this one here is linear. I mean, is linear bad? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
No, I'm not going to say that it's bad. No, it's definitely not. It's definitely not bad. So having something that's a linear conversation isn't bad. And I would say to some extent, sometimes you want to have something that's really linear because you want your user specifically in here. Once he learns some information about Facebook marketing, do you want to actually just deliver him a linear flow about Facebook marketing that then itself over here could have its interconnections, but this thing's all about Facebook marketing so that you could refer to Facebook marketing. And then if you want to add, let's say in this flow in Facebook marketing, you want to add a link in here, right? Let's just come in here and add one more link. All right. This is going to be your link that could essentially now talk to the guy about Twitter marketing. So once he got so far along in Facebook, you could also talk to him about Twitter marketing. All right. So you could essentially still do that, right? You could essentially still do that by coming in here and knowing that, hey, this Twitter guy right here, I've got a Twitter flow specifically for that. So there's my Twitter flow. And I can even I can even link this Twitter flow, right, back to my Facebook flow, which for some reason this says it's a Twitter marketing, and for some reason I'm seeing a Facebook like button in this Twitter marketing. So you probably don't want that because this. I said you probably. I see this. See this right here that I'm looking at? It's a Facebook like button. It's a Facebook thumbs up button.
Oh yeah.
But I'm seeing that. Where am I seeing that? I'm seeing that if I click on Twitter marketing. If I click on Twitter marketing, you come over here and you say, great, then I'm glad we connected. Tell you what, I have a call scheduled in about 10 minutes. Great tactic. Why don't you look over this awesome Twitter training? It may help answer any questions that you have. Awesome. Get cheat sheet. All right. So here. Okay. So here I can't say that you're doing anything useful. Okay. Here you're tagging them that they received Twitter. Here you're tagging them that you're adding a tag that they received Twitter marketing cheat sheet. Where did they receive that at? They never fucking received any cheat sheet. They've received a tag from you, but they haven't received any sheet. Where's the sheet at?
If you click the get cheat sheet button.
Okay. Oh, okay. So if you click the get cheat sheet button, you just literally take them to this.
It opens up. It takes you straight to the cheat sheet.
Okay. Okay, so they have got that cheat sheet. So I would say maybe not give them that cheat sheet here. I would still say maybe just deliver it to them in the bot itself. Just give them that actual cheat sheet here. Um,
How you mean by that?
just upload a file. Just go in and underneath
Oh,
here, just give some file and say there's your cheat sheet, right? And then once you're done with that, then you can tag them like that right into that guy. I mean, you can't do it right now. You go in and
okay. Change it to file.
right now. You can put them in there, or you can do it the way that you're doing it if you want to. You can also do it that way. But I would just assume you give them it to them right in the right in the bot
In the messenger.
if you're going to ultimately give them a file. Now, if you're not going to ultimately give them a file, if you're ultimately going to give them another intermediate page where they need to click a button on your website to then get the file, then I would recommend it doing the way that you're doing it right now. Okay, because there is a reason and a benefit that you could get if they come contribute a piece of traffic to a page where their goal is to get the file, but they can also get distracted with other content on the page and maybe do other valuable actions to you. All right, but if you're literally just going to give them the final destination of the file itself, of the deliverable file, I would suggest that we probably just go ahead and give it to them right here inside Messenger.
Okay.
All right, so if they hit okay thanks over here, so if they hit okay thanks over here, then you now route them over here to this message that says you're welcome, here it is, and I will be back shortly. Get it now. What is it that they're getting?
Cheat sheet.
Okay, so here, so you're saying either button that they hit here, they're routing to the same place to
Right. Either button is going to take care of it. Right.
okay, but now after this cheat sheet, you're going to then also continue and deliver them a thumbs up, a Facebook message, and then say, and don't worry, we'll work together to fix whatever is going on. All right, so then you just basically give them this cheat sheet again, right? You send them to the same place again here. Okay. So, like I said, keep in mind, I'm not a marketing guy, so I'm an engineering guy. So from an engineering perspective, does it all work? Yes, I personally would go in and essentially, essentially you've done it the right way because you've got three different call to actions. So each call to action is literally going in and just taking them to the same spot. So no big deal there. So they're all doing the same. So that's fine, I think. But this can still also be all one flow itself, right? This can all be one flow called your Twitter flow, right? That can be your Twitter flow. And this guy can be your Facebook flow right here. Right? We can get rid of that guy because I just added him in just as a point that we could easily do that and still have those cross references there, because then at any point you can go back in if you need to see somebody, if you want to send somebody back to this Facebook. Now you can essentially do this anywhere you want. Now essentially you can go in and say, are you interested about Facebook marketing, and give a call to action on Facebook marketing on any other flow anywhere in the world. And if they say yes, you can route them into this Facebook marketing flow that you already have. So this ends up happening like this. We create this, and then we come over here. This is generating leads.
Come on, Boomer.
And we're just going to call this Facebook marketing. So now essentially this guy disappears, and then he just gets replaced with that Facebook marketing flow. Now essentially this guy comes down here, happens really the same exact way. where this is some Twitter marketing, right? And this also ends up getting deleted and coming in and getting replaced with a Twitter marketing flow. And now this guy can be, what is this guy? This guy is lead gen secrets. All right. So essentially we can do the exact same thing with him.
See, I got lost in it. Had gotten so big. That's why that section is so small. I had got lost, and I was like, man, enough. But now that it's isolated, I can go in there and create a whole nother world.
Right. This is.
I can ask them what particular topics and send them blog posts.
That's lead gen secrets. This guy, we're missing some guy right here. We've lost this guy, and he's supposed to be right there. And I'm pretty sure that's what that guy looks like. All right, lead guy secrets is 1, 2, 3, 4, and those guys 1, 2. So that guy's right. Now we just needed to come right back in here. That's why we're missing him, because he's right there. And then now this guy is lead gen secrets. So now then essentially this guy's built, and this was generating leads, right? So now this, I'm not sure if this is me or if that's you. One of these guys is me and you. So since I'm not sure, let's just since I'm not sure, and make sure this is just the one I have to edit. Make sure that's the only one we've got. So now essentially we've got this guy right here. All right, we just built out this generating leads flow, and this generating leads flow now just looks like this. All right. So now essentially what we've done is we've replaced all of this.
Right. That's all gone.
Well, it's not gone. It's just moved around. But
well, it's in another section.
Yeah, essentially it's gone now. We've moved it around so that this now can be easily manageable. To an extent, it can be really easy manageable as long as you know what you're doing. And then this was generating leads, right? Is what that was. So now we've got generating leads. So we put them right in here. We give them this information, and then we ask them about Facebook marketing, Twitter marketing, or lead gen secrets. Now each of those guys is its own little module. So now we can refer to these things, and that's the benefit is doing that. Now we can refer to these things anytime that we want to. Anytime we want to have a call to action that says, hey, are you interested in Facebook marketing? And you know in that time you can actually in that time you can actually go in and deliver that content about Facebook marketing for generating leads, then we can just send them to that flow, which is essentially this flow right here, right? This is Facebook marketing.
Okay, you're in generating leads flow?
Well, this is Facebook marketing, all right? This is generating leads. So generating leads is what is linking to that Facebook marketing flow, because that's what was here, okay? Here, essentially, what we started with, all right? What we started with here was your flows. We started
Was the
with,
welcome landing page.
correct. We started with your welcome landing page. So landing page opt-in. We started with this guy. All right. So essentially, we started with this guy. We had, hey, if you're generating leads, you need to go to this, which is this page. So literally what we've done is we've made that generating leads. Here's that generating lead step right there. It links to Facebook, Twitter, and lead gen secrets. So we've done that. There's that guy. He links to Facebook, Twitter, and lead gen secrets. All right. Now that Facebook was just this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. So that ends up being this Facebook marketing. See, he's right there. This guy, those two guys, same thing. This guy, those two guys, essentially the exact same thing. Because, and we did that, like I said, we did that because this is all a linear conversation that's going. You start here and you come here, right? You come here and then you come down here and then you come down there. From here, all right, you have a one-way linear conversation that only ever goes this way, all right? And then in doing that linear conversation, you come here, and then you come down here. And each of these guys are also the same. They have one-way linear conversations that are just moving in this direction. All right?
Yeah, moving them through a funnel.
Right. So we've just went in and basically isolated those guys, and we said, okay, so we definitely, since this guy does that, we need to grab all of this guy and make them one flow. And that flow essentially has been that entry point, this guy right here, connected to our other flows, right? We just created 3 other flows, which would be this guy, and this guy. So now we've got all those additional flows.
Now we can delete the flows from the landing page opt-in message now, since we've duplicated them, right?
We already did that in my version. So in my version, we've already done that. So in my version here, which is one of these versions here, not that one, probably this one. All right. So in my version here, we've already done that. So we've got rid of this one. All right. So here's, sorry, not that one. Here's your version. All right. So now so far in my version, what we've done is we've cleaned this entire top up here, all this that you have here, to look like this. Now that's what it looks like. It looks like this. Now we still got to go in and clean this up, right? So that means that we need to go in and create help me on my blog, which I'm sure that we already did somewhere. Help me on my blog. It's right here. All right. And then we determine that that help me on my blog is just this one flow that we're going to leave just like that. All right. So that guy's already built. So we've already built that guy. So now we can just essentially come right back in here and come here. Delete that. Also delete that because that's part of the thing. And then just grab that guy up there.
Okay,
this is help me on my blog, is what this is.
Oh, I see. I just did it. Okay. The go-to. So basically, I could have a whole bunch of introductory messages, and whatever button they click, I could just have a go-to that particular flow I'm sending them to.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, now I get it. It's just knowing the way to navigate the system.
Well, now look essentially what we've made, though. Here's the flow that we just made for you. It looks like, to you, it looks like this. This is your initial thought process, right? It looks like this. This is what we transformed that guy into. And why did we do that? Because since these things are all linear, you want to be able to, you really want to be able to spam this content out, right? You want to be able to reuse this shit over and over and over again. And in order to reuse it, you're either going to have to be copy and pasting, or you want to do modular stuff like this. Let's say, for example, somebody, they want to generate leads, but they also want to help you on your blog. Okay. So now you can just find that help me on my blog right here. And you can add in some call to actions now that are generate leads. And whenever they click on that call to action, they can go right into that generate leads flow. Right. So now you can reference them and make all those interconnections, and things still be pretty simple and straightforward. Because anytime that you want to reference this generating leads flow, or this flow that you're actually in, which is help my blog, anytime that you want to send somebody to this content, now you can just send it to them there, because you've compartmentalized it, you've modularized it, and put in your content stream as one actual flow, one generic flow. That's why whenever I train you guys, I've always been training you guys, telling you anything that before you do anything, you need to go build your flow, because that is your initial concept that you're going to do. You're going to put somebody through a conversational flow. And that's the first thing that you need to do before you decide, hey, what keyword is
try to sell somebody something?
What keyword is going to generate this, or what growth tool is going to link into this? The first thing that you need to do is first build out that flow and plan out that flow. And if it's multiple flows, then it ends up being multiple flows. And once you actually have that dialogue and that routing system built, then you can easily just go in and create a keyword and link it to that existing flow, or create a growth tool and link it to that existing flow.
Okay. Do you have another minute?
Yeah, if you give me like 45 seconds and let me pee real quick, yeah, I got several more minutes.
Deal, I'll get something to drink.
This is great. Nice guy.
He is off the charts.
Hey, Marva. Lovely
How
lady.
are you?
I'm fine.
This man is driving. When I said this man, he could be my son. You know, I'm 75 years old, so.
I know. You're
you
from the you're the lady with the brown kitchen.
Let me tell you, this guy, I am so in love with him. You know,
Yeah.
when he curses his words, my ears go, oh God, but then it's okay. I forgive him. But you can't leave him and go anywhere. That's the whole truth.
Yes. Where are you, Marga?
Me?
Here.
I am now, I have to say,
This is the lady in America.
I'm in North Carolina, but I was originally in Miami.
Oh, you're in North Carolina. My wife is standing behind me and says,
I see her. How are you doing?
How are you doing? She says,
I see her.
Who the hell you're talking to? I said, I'm talking to a 75-year-old American woman. She thought I was getting lovely.
John
lady,
is the love of my life. When I hear him talk, my brain goes, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Yeah, John is really a guru.
Oh yes, he is.
He is a guru to us.
And if you listen long enough, instead of working harder, you're working smarter.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Well, that's why we're all interested in bots anyways, right? It's because we don't really work harder.
Whoever created bots is a genius. They should be given some type of a award.
Yeah.
I'll shut up now so that John
I shut up as well. Okay, John, go ahead, man. Hit the road.
So what else did you want, Bubbie? What do you want to do with that?
I don't understand. Okay, what we just did basically was build me a congruent bot, a congruent funnel that kept everybody segmented in a direction. But now tell me, what's the difference in doing this and segmenting?
Okay, well, segmenting is completely different. Okay, here all we've done is we went from this, which I'm not going to say anything is wrong with this. I don't want to say this is wrong. Okay, now we could go in and say this is wrong if we really go in and actually start to dig into your content and look and see what you're actually doing, if it actually makes sense. But what we've essentially done is just rerouted this to look like this, to kind of look like this, and break this down to having very reusable modules where This we actually have to spend this just from a visual perspective is going to daunt us. And if we come back to this, let's say a month from now, and try to remember what's going on in here, it's going to be kind of daunting because we see so much shit, and we're going to have to go in and actually spend time and see, hey, what am I actually doing here? Versus here, when I come back and look at it, I can easily see, oh, this guy's either going to be interested in generating leads or help me on my blog, or he doesn't need help. So I'm just delivering this message. So what are these guys? I don't really remember what these guys are. So now I can easily look, oh, well, if he's interested in generating leads, he's going to get this. And then he's either going to be interested in Facebook marketing or Twitter marketing or lead gen secrets. And now yourself mentally, you'll start to refresh yourself and understand what could possibly be in each one of these contents. And now you've given yourself an engine where you can go in and create even a new flow and reference things again. You can create another flow and say, hey, dude, are you interested in generating leads? Because you didn't come in from my slide in, you came in a completely different other place, right? You came in from a different opt-in widget. I've got you to subscribe a completely different way. So I'm going to give you a new initial pre-packaging of content. And then essentially I'm going to ask you the same fucking generic questions over and over and over again, right? I'm going to ask you, are you interested in generating leads? You want to help my blog? No, you don't need help. So I'm going to give you an initial different flow here, but then I can route to these guys and reference these guys generically anytime I want. All right. Versus segmenting. Segmenting is essentially whenever you're going in and asking your customers, are you a fucking vegetarian or do you like to eat meat? Because if you're a vegetarian and I send you an offer for a hamburger, you're probably not going to buy that shit. And if you're a meat eater and I send you some promotion for some vegan stuff, probably not also going to take action on that. So when I segment you, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to record some additional demographics so that whenever I try to market to you and I try to send you offers or even not send you an offer, just send you content that you're actually going to consume. I'm going to send you something that you're more likely to convert on.
Responsive to.
Correct. Based on the fact that you're segmented. So your segmentation is dealing with basically just acquiring some information and some demographics about your actual users so that you can use that to route them into some other flows or decide what content or what offers you want to be.
But is a segment an actual, I know it is. Flow?
Well, essentially, you would need a segmentation flow. Yes, essentially, you would need one or many flows that you're using to segment somebody, or maybe even some external things as well that you're using to segment somebody. So you do what we've done so far isn't set. So what we could say we've done a little bit of segmenting, all right, and where we've done that is right here in these actions where we've added a tag. Okay, now we've added this tag. We've sent this 3ME video. All right. We've added this other tag where they've received Facebook marketing cheat sheet. Here they've received Twitter marketing cheat sheet. Here they've got that same video as before. So this we can consider a little bit of segmentation because these guys have got something from us. So we can retarget these people because now they're segmented.
Right.
We want to retarget people who have got this 3ME video, whatever the hell that is, because we've made through our unique perspective in our business and whatever it is that we're doing and we're trying to get our users to convert on, we've made some logical assumption that if a user's converted on this and he has this tag and he's got this video, then he's likely to consume this other thing or likely to be interested on this thing or to consume this offer. So we have a little bit of segmentation here.
John, can I ask?
All right, I got an idea. If you scrolled out so I could see the whole thing, all right. Is there anywhere right there, because it's too small for me to read, does it say about the coaching call and I'll get back with you in an hour?
This is your lead gen secrets. So this says something, about it says, awesome, I should have more than an hour. I shouldn't be more than an hour on this call. Will about an hour be okay with you for your coaching call? That's perfect. Not really.
All right, stop. What about if I create a segment right there to be triggered in an hour?
Okay.
Is that what a segment does? It triggers at time frames, like you said, an autoresponder. So
Well,
see, I told him I'd be back in touch with him in an hour.
okay, so what you're doing here, what you're doing there is not called a segment. That's called a sequence. So what you're doing is you're referring to a sequence, but you're calling it a segment. Okay, a segment is not what you're talking about. Okay, a segment is
Okay.
this is a segment. Okay, that's one segment. This is another segment. Okay. So this potential, let's say this segment here, this is your fucking audience. These are your subscribers. This segment here are your subscribers who have been tagged with this thing right here. This segment right here, from here to here, this is your segment with those guys that were tagged with that other thing, that Facebook marketing thing. Okay. This segment from here to here, this is the segment of people who have been tagged either with this or with that. They've received one of your tags and consumed one of your cheat sheets. That is a segment. Okay. A segment is just a portion, right? A segment is just a smaller portion of a large. Okay. So what you're talking about,
John?
Yeah, what's
would
that?
you say a segment could be a tag?
Well, kind of, yes. A segment, I wouldn't say that a segment could be a tag. I would say that if you tag people, you are essentially creating a segment. You're creating a segment of your audience that are tagged with a specific thing. So the segment isn't the tag, but the tag is essentially creating one segment. It's creating a segment of users that are tagged with something.
So maybe I could create a tag and call this, say I'm grouping women, female and not males, or 31 to 35 years old. I could call that a segment. When I'm creating a tag, I could label it that way so it would help me to remember, right?
Correct. What you're wanting to do, though, Bubbie, is what you're, yeah.
John, is a segment not the total part of the pie? So the pie is all the women, and in the pie you've got women from 0 to 15, from 15 to 25, 25 to 45, and from 45 to 100. When that's the pie.
Correct.
Okay. So is a segment a part of your total content?
I wouldn't. So you could refer to it as that, but that's not typically what you would call it. Typically, when you're talking about a segment, you're talking about a market segment, and that just is representing an audience that you've somehow through a process you've put together in a group, like you said, 15 to 25.
Yes. Okay.
What Bubbie's talking about is a sequence. Okay, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about a sequence. You're talking about a series of messages that are going to fire after some time.
Right.
So, and yes, we could essentially do that. And we have several ways that we could actually do that. So when we're here, not there, sorry. When we're also not there, fucking somewhere, wherever. All right, right here. You were saying right here, could we go in and add them? You're calling it a segment, but that's not what you mean. You mean a sequence. Could we go in and add something here? Yeah, essentially we could, all right? We could go in here and add some. We could either add it here or you could also add it here, all right? So you could add in some sequence, and let's say you have some sequence where you're going to call this guy, all right? And I think I even saw coaching call request, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here, let's say you have some sequence. All right, so now let's get rid of this. All right. And since I'm a guy that has a lot of connections and I've built a lot of software, we can actually hook this up properly. So in here, we could essentially go in now and subscribe this user to that sequence. All right. So we can subscribe him to that coaching call request sequence. Okay. So now he's subscribed to that sequence. So now after an hour, he's going to get this message right here. All right. So let's not worry about that message. So let's create.
Okay, now after an hour, how did you set up that time frame? I mean,
that's just set up in your sequence. All right. So
It's
what I'm
just
gonna,
set up automatically.
yeah, so let's just delete everything. Okay, so now everything's deleted. We've created this ready for coaching call flow. All right, here's a flow that says, are you ready for your coaching call? Here's ManyChat going fucking crazy saying, hey, you deleted every message, so I'm not sure what to do. So now let's select an existing message, and let's select that ready for coaching call message. All right, so
Coaching
now,
call.
let's just put something there because this guy is not liking him right now. Oh, now he finally liked him. All right, so now they're going to get this after 1 hour. All right, so now what I would do is, now you can send them this message after 1 hour. So in this message, we would do something like, are you still ready for your coaching call? All right. So here, what I would essentially do, all right, probably what I would do is come back over here. If I can find this guy, wherever I was at, I'm somewhere. Let me just find him and then bring him back to where he needs to go. Right there. So now essentially what I'll probably do is I'll probably tag this guy, remind about coaching call. I'll give him a tag right there. That way I can come in here to this guy here and I can start out with some condition that says, hey, if this guy is ready for it, if this guy is ready for this coaching call, then I need to actually perform. I need to perform this message. All right. So I need to perform this message. So if this tag is any of the following, and it's just going to be if this tag is ready
Are you recording this?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will give you access to it only if you give me money. Because that's how I roll, buddy. I do a bunch of shit for free.
What?
I said that's how I roll. I do a bunch of shit for free, and I purposely try to give so much information and so much value that you can't possibly absorb all of it, but you know that you really want to. And I let you know,
Right.
hey, it's all recorded, but only way you can access it is if you give me a small amount of monthly money, because then I know you're going to do it. It's a short sell, buddy.
Is that the? Because I'm like in like 3 groups for this shit.
Yeah, so
Is
just
this
give me
the
all.
one that you get the replays for $47
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah, don't worry about how much money you
Yeah,
get.
hey man, that
Give me
ain't
all
shit
that,
compared
buddy.
to the money you can
That's
make
right.
on this.
That's right. Just give me all that, man. You don't have to worry about that. It's worth whatever you give it. For some
It
reason,
You're absolutely right.
all right. So if that's true, if not, what I think we're gonna do is have another action here, and we're gonna remove this guy from this sequence. Okay. So we're going to unsubscribe from coaching call requests. All right. All right, so now you can basically have these 2 guys. All right.
Why is the condition on the left side, not on the right side?
Because my plan is to go in and basically add another one of these guys that is going to refer to the same exact guy. All right. And if this guy says call me now, I'm going to go in and actually call him. I'm going to go in and actually call him now. All right. And if he says remind in an hour, all right, at this point, I'm just going to send him a message and say, sure. So I'll just do that. And then here what I would actually do is.
I like that. If I'm free.
here I could essentially go in, and there's a couple things that I can do here. So we needed a little bit more information. So if you got this guy's phone number already, we can go in and actually trigger a phone call. So what I would do is I would just go in and say something like, hey, do I have a phone number for this guy? And I don't have any phone number for this guy. So then what I would go in and do is add a phone number, add a custom field. And I'm going to call this phone number text because it's actually a text unit and not a number unit. So now I can come back in here and just check that and say, hey, if that phone number text has any value, then I can go in and do an action and then send a message. All right. And then if this doesn't have any value, then I can come down in here and I can send a message and I can ask this guy, what is the best phone number to reach you at? And then I can just take that data and put it in phone number text, store his phone number, and then essentially route him into here and make that phone call, and then just tell him that's just whatever phone number you would call him from. All right, and then I'm going to ask him if he got the phone call or if he didn't get the phone call. If he got the phone call, then I can just add an action. And here essentially I could do a couple things. All right, so essentially at this point, I could do two things, and they're both essentially going to do the exact same thing. I can just remove this tag from him. So now if he's in that sequence, nothing's going to happen if he's in that sequence, because if he's in that sequence, when he goes back into that sequence, he's going to be unsubscribed from bot in the next pass. Okay. But then I can also just go ahead and unsubscribe him from this sequence as well, so that he doesn't get another message from this sequence, because now I can just have this as a thing with 100 messages that a user can get 100 hourly notifications from it whenever they go into this flow. All right, and they'll just keep getting those notifications until they eventually tell me, don't remind me anymore. So if they're like this, I can barely fit there. So if they're no longer interested, I can essentially run them through the exact same route here and just do the exact same thing as if they said, yes, I finally got this phone call. If they say, no, I don't want this, I didn't get this phone call, then I can ask them, do you want me to try again now? And then if they say yes, I can just route them in here, right? If they say yes, they want to try it again now, I can route them right back here to start this phone call, because that's essentially what this is start phone call. I just haven't made the actual action yet.
Yeah,
what's up?
The thing I understand, but the beginning I don't understand. So I don't know the starting point. Why does the condition start before the message?
Well, the condition starts before the message is because for me it's a fail safe, because these guys are going to get this automatic message from here, but they also, between that hour where they're doing something else, they could be doing something else inside my bot, where just naturally through the process of the bot, they no longer need to have that conversation with me. All right. But they're actually subscribed to this. They're subscribed to the sequence to be, let's say I go in here now and you see how this is a generic, thing. So right now I'm just going to add a tag here called make phone call. And this doesn't actually need to be that. This actually needs to be a zap, and we would do that later. So now essentially what I can do here is I can just do this, right? This is after I've put that, all right? So
that's the automation. Sorry, automation. Okay, got it.
So I can just keep doing this. You get the point? Now, let's say they're going to be getting this message every hour. But while they're in between these hours, right, they've got this message, and then they've decided, so they've got this message, and I've routed them into here, right? And they've got these options, and then they were like, fuck these options. I'm going to interact with this dude's main menu. So they click the main menu. And during that main menu, they've triggered some other process. And in that process, I've done essentially the same thing in some other flow, which is I've actually called them. Now, once I've called them, I've asked them, hey, did you get the call? And they're like, yeah, I got the call. So now I can actually remove this tag. And since they're in this sequence, they're stuck in this sequence, but they don't need to get another call. Now, whenever they go inside this sequence and I realize they don't have that tag anymore, I can instantly unsubscribe them from the sequence so they no longer get any reminders. Because if you notice in every message here, because this is what I call a reminder sequence. This sequence isn't to deliver. You're not using this sequence for essentially what you would an autoresponder. With your autoresponder, your traditional autoresponder, you're doing some type of nurturing, right? You're doing literally some lead nurturing where you're spending, let's say, a week or 10 days. And over that span of 10 days, you're delivering different contextual messages to prepare them about your product or service and get them hyped up and excited and aware about that. All right. That's not what you're doing here. Here, essentially, you're just sending them out a reminder, right? So essentially every hour we're going to send them out the exact same message every hour until finally they perform that action, which is get on that phone call, or they finally just tell us, fuck off, I'm no longer interested in this, right? So this is just we're going to kind of just have this as an infinite thing where they're just going to keep getting the same exact message over and over and over again until either they get on the phone with me, and because they get on the phone with me, we basically go in and say, hey, they no longer need to get this call anymore. And we're unsubscribing them from that sequence. But like I said, it's just a fail safe in case somewhere else I make this call and I forget to unsubscribe them from this sequence, which I'm very likely to do. It doesn't matter because I've got this little fail safe right here that will double check, and it keeps them from getting annoyed just in case I do something stupid on my end and forget every piece of this. As you can see, this isn't complex, but there are some moving pieces here. So I want to make sure that my dude's not getting annoyed and essentially what I'm going to end up making is, like I said, right now it's 4 hours, but how many is this going to be? Essentially, once this process is mapped out, I'm going to fucking get some low level dude that I outsource to, and I'm going to say fucking copy and paste this thing 365 times, because it is going to take some amount of time to continuously do this. Right. I mean, this is a repetitive process that's really, really easy, but it does consume time.
Right.
So I don't want to do this shit. I want somebody else to do this shit. So I'm just going to tell them, you just keep doing this over and over again until ManyChat tells you you can't add any more sequence. You can't add any more messages to the sequence. Then you're done. Then now I know, and maybe that's overkill, but now I know this dude is going to every hour until this dude either gets on the phone with me or finally tells me, look, dude, I'm just no longer interested in this anymore. He's going to get a reminder. Hey, what about that phone call? Are you still ready for that phone call? Let's have that phone call.
Okay. I have a 10-day email marketing series.
Mm-hmm.
So I could set it up in the sequence to fire off every 24 hours. You get the next lesson. It's 10 lessons for 10 days.
Yeah. So we can go in and create a sequence called 10-day marketing sequence. Not sure if we're going to spell it right.
That is also within the laws and the rules of Facebook Messenger.
It depends. So it depends on what it depends on what you're sending them. But yes, it is within the laws of Facebook, depending on what you're sending them. Okay. Now, if you're sending them, this, then if you're sending them this,
essentially it's 10 different reports on how to increase open rates, how to increase click-through rates and stuff like that.
Any direct advertising or offers, promotional offers that you're referring to?
Yes.
you have any content like that in that Tinder?
Yeah, well, I do. At day 3 in the email series, in day 3, you get a chance to unlock the whole 10-day series for $7
Okay, well that's
if you don't want to wait.
stuff like that's fine as long, and I'd have to double check on this because I'm pretty sure that the rules that Facebook gives us on the 24-hour rules, that from our perspective, like from my perspective, that deals with a particular edge on Facebook side. So that rule applies to a particular API that they allow me to call, which is their broadcast API. All right. So
well, I wouldn't want to promote the unlock it. Well, I would have wanted to, but if it's even skirting the edges, I don't want to piss Facebook off.
Well, that's why you do something. That's why you do something like this, right? You have a yes or a no. You do something tricky like that. It's pretty straightforward. Like you're like, hey, want this thing? Like, hey, are you interested in this thing? It's not an offer. This isn't an offer. This isn't an advertisement. This is just a question. Are you interested in, higher click-through rates? Yes, you are. Great. Hit this fucking yes guy right here. All right. This yes guy has my offer. And even this is what I do. All right. This yes guy has my offer. Hit this no guy. Fuck it. This no guy has my offer too. Even if you're not interested in it.
I've seen your flow like that.
I mean, even if you're not interested in it.
I'm laughing my ass off at your flow.
Yeah.
You're like, no, I don't want to read the book. Hey, man, fuck you. The book is about this.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
What you're saying is tell something in the beginning and something shitty in the beginning, and then put the advertisement.
Yeah, do not give a promotion. Do not give an offer here. Just give a user interaction. Give a converting content that will result in a user action. Whether from the user's perspective it's a positive or negative interaction, we don't really care. All we care about is Facebook's TOS that says I need a user interaction within the last 24 hours. So that's what I'm going to get in my broadcast. You're going to give me that interaction because that's what I want. So give me that interaction. Say yes or no. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm not going to tell you about an offer. I'm not going to tell you, hey, here's the deal or anything like that. I'm just going to be like, hey, like literally, I'll just do something like, this is what I'll do sometimes. Hey,
come on, Boomer.
Are you super busy right now? All right. And then they're like, yes or no. And I'm like, well, I don't want to take up much of your time. So here's my kick ass offer. Right. Done. So here's my offer over here. Facebook says I can't start with this guy and I can't broadcast this guy out something that's an advertising material or an offer unless he's interacted with me for 24 hours. So, okay, fine. I won't send you that. First, I'll get your interaction. Are you busy right now? Yes or no? Yes, you are. Great. Thanks for the interaction. No, you're not. Great. Thanks for the interaction. Here's that offer that essentially I wanted to get in the first place, and that's a total valid thing to do. No big deal there.
So when you're selling something to stop smoking and get a better health, you say, "Well, how are you today? Good or bad?" Well, stop smoking, coughing.
Right. Let's say that is your offer. Okay.
Yeah.
Want this product to quit smoking. Right. It's on sale. Now, anybody's going to say, even if you don't have this, it's on sale. Any logical person is going to tell you if they evaluate that if this is linked to something that allows a user to purchase this thing, that is a promotion or that is an advertisement. So essentially, this is now an offer. Okay. So now if that's my thing, I'm just going to say, have you had any cigarettes today or felt the urge to smoke one? Yes or no? I don't fucking care, really. I really don't care either way, man. This is not like a really two-way. This is really not like a two-way conversation where I want to get to know you and I want to actually know this thing. This is, I need
Right.
to interact with my bot so that I can deliver you this offer. So please interact with my bot and tell me, here's a really generic thing to get that interaction. Now, that's one way to approach it. The other way to approach it is obviously make this interaction a valuable interaction that you can take the info and the interaction that you're getting and further narrow down that segmentation, because you'll find, and like I said, I'm not a marketer. I'm an engineer, but you'll find that all those fucking marketers, what they say is that you really need to segment out people, because you'll find that segmented audience is going to be a much higher ratio of converters. And that's essentially that's all any of us want. We don't really want, that's why I don't care about this number, wherever it is. Somewhere I got some stupid number here, right here I got some stupid number, and I don't care about this number right here. And ultimately, as you can see, this number could be who knows. I'd say I started this bot not so long ago, so let's look and see. This number could be, ultimately, I can see right now 300 more, right? And maybe I started this bot a little bit before that. Yeah, so ultimately, this number could be 300 higher if I wanted it 300 higher. But I don't fucking want it 300 higher, because I don't care about 697 people. What I care about ultimately is a ratio of 697 people, right? I care about the ratio of percentage of users that actually convert into a transactional relationship with me, right? Now, my credibility and my credence is actually going to hinge not on this fucking number. It's going to hinge on that ratio number, right? So me, from my perspective, even if I wanted, let's say I wanted to teach you guys about fucking marketing and content, right? Now, if I don't show you that I have 697 subscribers, if I show you, I've got 397 subscribers and I've got a conversion ratio of, bridging this transactional gap of 50% or 60%, then that's a lot more impressive than me showing you, hey, I've got 697 subscribers, but now that conversion ratio goes down to 20% or 30%. You guys aren't going to be near as impressed, because you're not really giving a shit about this number here. What you're ultimately going to evaluate is, from this number, how many conversions did you actually get? Now I can actually convince you that, hey, from 397, if I just weed out 300 users and I say, hey, from 397, when I ran this broadcast, I got a 50% conversion rate into an actual transaction. Now let's scale that number up to 1,000. That's going to be something that's impressive to you, because you're like, okay, you got a 50% conversion ratio. And that's important to me. That's why I'm not scared to weed people out. And I constantly do that. Every single day I send out broadcasts that purposely unsubscribe people from my bot, because I realize that person is not ready to make a commitment, and they're probably never actually going to make a commitment. And if I go in, and let's say I want to run some training videos this, right?
I'm still on because I make a commitment. Fuck hell.
Yeah, that's it. Well, essentially, that's the whole ideal. Let's say I run some training course just like this to show the power of Facebook Messenger bots. And let's say essentially you guys are going to do something yourselves, especially you guys that are wanting to start your own bot agency. You're going to have all your own content produced out there, and one of your tools is going to be that content. Now, if I can walk into a client and I can show them a video and I'm like, hey, fucking watch this shit, right? I go in and do a broadcast to my hyper-targeted, ready-to-buy audience, and now that becomes a video where I send out a broadcast, and within an hour fucking training video that I did as a live webinar to people who are going to now purchase my service, I show them a broadcast about this messenger marketing, and they see I send out a message to 397 people, 50 of them convert on a $47 product. I mean, what is that, right? What is that? If I got 397 times 0.5 times a $50 product, I just made 10K, right? In a fucking hour. Now, what do you think all those, let's say I got 50 people on my webinar and I'm trying to sell them a fucking $2,000 package, right? I'm trying to say, hey, here's a training class for $2K, and look the shit that I'll show you in this training class. Our first day of training, our intro session before you actually make the commitment, the informational session, literally live, I show you $10,000 I just generated in a fucking hour by one broadcast, and I'm going to teach you how to do the same. Trust me, the conversion on that, most of those, I would say a good rate of those people are going to be like, fuck yeah, dude, sign me the fuck up. Now, if I were to do the exact same thing, but I were do the exact same thing with this higher number, this number of 697, it wouldn't be near as impressive, right? That's why I don't care about this number. I care about that ultimate conversion number. So I want to keep this number as low as possible because it gives me more credibility.
Right. I like what you're saying there. I use a tool for Twitter called Tweepee, and what it does is I can put in an influencer, and there's one particular one that had 125,000 followers, but when I segmented them to who has tweeted in the last 2 weeks, maybe only 10,000 of them. You know, so what good are the rest of them? It just makes your pillow fluffy, but it ain't making you no damn money.
Sure.
You're a beast, dude. You're brilliant.
Well, I'm good at engineering, man. The other stuff comes the other stuff is just a process. So I'm not the smartest guy in the world, though, but I will totally trust me. I am humble, but I am smart enough to realize that I am a genius, and I'm not
that you know your shit, huh?
Yeah, I know I'm good at what I do. So, and that's because I work hard and I use my brain. So,
okay. Off topic here. Why you use Zoom?
No real reason. No, no real reason at all.
Because could you hear me only because of the phone, or are you hearing me over your speaker on your computers and stuff?
I'm hearing you on my speaker on my computer. So if you've got a speaker on your computer, or if you've got a microphone on your computer, then you don't have to use your phone.
It doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't know why this goddamn thing don't have a mic.
Yeah, whenever you call in on the phone, then I hear you right through my computer speakers. Or if I was called in on the phone, I'd hear you through the phone audio, but I don't call in on the phone. I just do it from my computer. It's easy for me. That's why I use it essentially.
Yeah, there's a easy damn way to do webinars. I was about to see about webinars on there, but I don't see nobody using it anymore.
What, webinars?
On air.
On air?
Webinars on air.
I'm assuming that some type of webinar platform is my assumption.
Yeah. Put out by My Lead System Pro.
Well, ouch.
What, you know about it?
Yes, I'm an affiliate with them.
Okay.
I am too.
Yes, but I like them because of the products that they're teaching and the tools they give you. If I should go all over the place and get a piece of this, piece of that, get a website, get CRMs, I'd be paying 4 times what I'm paying them. Because I pay $149 as a mastery.
Right.
And I get CRM, I get a website with all the bells and whistles. I get a funnel. I can make any amount of ads I want with my funnels, plus all the various things I teach them and give them for free.
They have an amazing affiliate program. I mean, it's a great thing. It's where I got started. It's where I got started in my network marketing. And I look back now at what I do, and I'm so thankful for the training that I received, because now that the chat bot and John is here to fill in some blanks for what's coming up in the future.
Yeah.
You know, these people are still teaching the old shit. John's got the new shit in his hand.
Well, no, they're using the bot thing. They're the ones who introduced me to it. They gave a training, and they have a guy.
Oh, they did.
Oh, yes, they're the ones who introduced me to it. They have a guy who is with them, and this guy is brilliant. So he introduced, because he works with a lot of clients like John does, and so he goes and he learns these things. So he teaches us, but he has tons of.
Oh, that's great.
So that's how I got into ManyChat.
I don't see how. I'm gonna tell you something else though, because I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get the graphic done. I'd like to get some type of mailbox laying down broke, and a robot with his foot on it like they were fighting. Are you hearing me, John?
Yeah. So that you can do. Do you know how to hire people? Do you know how to digitally hire a freelancer?
At like Fiverr and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fiverr's one place you could go for that. 99 Designs, Upwork's another place that you could go for that.
Upwork is another one. Yeah.
Cool. Because I wanted the headline to be Battle of the Chatbot with email marketing dying because chatbox is going to take it over.
Oh yes. Oh yes. I just spoke to a young lady a while ago. She came in on my phone trying to get me to buy a lead. So I said to her, I used to do that a lot, but I don't need to anymore because I now have a bot and I can get my leads coming in for free. And she said, a what? A bot? What's that? So I said, whoopee. So
Let me
I
send
answered
you a
her right
video.
away. I mean, a lot
does
of
my lead system pro have a bot system also like ManyChat?
no. They link you.
Okay.
They link you to what you call it, a
John,
Zapier.
John,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
what's
can
up?
link up to Zapier. Yeah,
how
What
can
is
we
Zapier?
Zapier.
something
Yeah.
in this bot? We make, for instance, an email coming in, and I have never seen in slow motion how to connect Zapier with the Gmail doc, Google Doc, just in a slow version.
How to connect Zapier with what Google Doc?
What I don't have, I don't have Google Doc, and I don't have Zapier. So I make an account with Google Doc. That's no problem. And I make an account with Zapier. But in slow motion, put in an email address or for instance the phone number you put over there. And how do we get it in a spreadsheet from many more people?
Let John teach you. He knows I did that. John taught me.
Yeah, I saw it, but my wife was arguing that I'm listening more to John than to my wife.
Yeah, even my wife argues that, man, all the time.
Yeah,
So.
she's now to bed, but it's here in the Netherlands. It's 11:45.
So how you would do that is pretty straightforward. All right. So keep in mind I have a Zapier account already.
Yes.
All right. So what I'm going to do is just come in here.
Yes.
And create some flow called get email delete. All right. And then we're just going to skip so that your wife doesn't complain. We're going to skip all the bullshit stuff and only put in the necessary stuff. All right. So we're going to have what is your email? We're going to put that guy in an email field that we already have. So we've got a custom field called email, and we're going to say we want an email type of data. We're going to remove the skip button because we don't want the user to actually skip it. All right. So we've got a couple options here. So it depends on what you're wanting to do and how you're wanting to do it. One option is that we can just do this. All right. One option is that it really depends on what we want to do. Okay. So one option is we need our Zapier account. All right.
Yes.
So we've got a Zapier account and we have enough. We have everything we need already to do this if we want to. So we have a Zapier account. One of our triggers on Zapier is a new or updated custom field. So if I pick that,
yeah,
and I pick my demo bot,
yes,
and this custom field, I pick that email,
yes,
then essentially now, as soon as a user fills out this email, as soon as he gives me a value and hits enter, and I realize that that is an email, this has now fired. This process has now fired. Where now I can go in and choose my Google Sheet.
And then it's sent to Zapier.
Correct. At that point, it's sent to Zapier, and anything underneath this step one right here, this trigger is literally when this happens. All right. When this happens,
okay,
it's because I'm listening on this trigger when that email custom field is updated. All right. So whenever that's updated,
there is somebody on the door. There is somebody knocking on the door with the email. Open the door, put it in Zapier, and now when
do whatever you want with
on the door. Yes. Okay.
Now you want to stick it in a Google Sheet, you'll just use Google Sheets. You'll pick your sheet, and then you'll pick which column in that sheet you want to put it at. Okay. So if you want to see that, then we can just go in and say, let's go to Google Sheets, and then let's create a new sheet. and I'll try to go in as slow as motion as I can without boring myself.
Yeah, I know
Get
this is very
email.
boring, but I'm
Get email delete. Okay, I'm gonna call that get email delete as well because I need to go in and delete that. So I'm gonna just save their mini chat ID, right? I'll save their name and I'll save their email, all right? Because I think I'll want all those data. So now I'll come in here and continue. I've already continued this, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna test this guy.
Excuse me, John.
What's up, buddy?
I got to be getting off for a minute. I got
All right.
a couple things I got to take care of. But I'm always on. I'm always working. So don't be surprised if I hit you up again.
I'm always collecting money, buddy. So don't be surprised if I talk to you again and ask you for some money.
That's it. Hey, talk to me.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye.
So here we're just going to create a spreadsheet row here. And then we'll just reference that Google account that I used to create that spreadsheet.
Yes.
And then I'll just say, hey, I want to use that particular spreadsheet I just created, get email delete. I want to select that sheet 1 because that's literally the sheet right there, sheet 1. And then I'm going to populate those fields. So here, whenever you see this right here, you see this symbol right here. This just means that essentially what I need to do is come over here. Now that I came over there, I can refresh this and get that email field that's not showing up. So whenever you see this, this just means that you're allowed to access data from any of the previous steps. So I'm on essentially this step right here, right? I'm on this step. So when I see this, it means I have access to any of the data from these previous steps, all right?
Okay.
So now if I come in here, I'll be able to access anything. You see this is from step 1. I can access that guy's mini chat ID. I can access that guy's name. Here's his name, user name. All right. I can also access that email. Here's his email. All right. And then I can just continue. Now that's being put inside there. All right. So now I can send that test to Google. There's that guy right there.
Okay.
Now, if he had an email, all right. Now, if I was to actually go in and let's say turn this app on. All right, so now if I was to actually turn this on and then come back over here and preview this out to myself. And give my email. By the time I go to this Google Sheet, it should already be there. See, there it is right there. So now I should have went in here and formatted this to plain text.
Plain text, yes.
And then now I'll delete that it's formatted to plain text. And then I can just try that one more time. Send that out to myself. And I do need to change the value because I'm doing on an update when this is updated. So now you can see there's that guy. Instantly data's just put right there.
John, from those 367 subscribers, you can collect the emails now here in this email? In this.
Yeah, I could if they go in and give me their email. If they go in and update their email, yes.
Oh, so they have to update it. So you cannot collect it from your ManyChat subscribers.
I can. So I could essentially, if I do this, all right. So let me edit this. All right, let me edit this and come in here and just erase this right here because I think you got that concept. So let me change this to when a new zap is triggered. All right.
Yeah, but a zap is always triggered when somebody puts the data in the ManyChat.
Not always. Only if you set up a zap that's listening for that custom field. If you don't have a zap set up for that, then no zap will trigger. If you have a zap that's set up to say,
I know what you mean. So you have to trigger it, and you have to set it up to trigger,
right?
Of course, but Um, I'm a person who's thinking in pictures. So it's like a mousetrap. You put a mousetrap, and when the mousetrap is filled with a mouse, the mouse is going to Gmail or Google Docs, and then it's there. But now we've got some mice already in our ManyChat dashboard. You know what I mean?
Correct. So for that, we don't want to, for that essentially in your scenario, what's triggering, what is the mouse? Essentially the mouse is the user when he gives us this input. All right. Now the trap's the fact that we have this set up and we say, hey, we want to have a trap. We want to listen when a user updates when they update their custom field. Now, when the user comes in here and they put in a new value than the value I currently have stored here, that's triggered the mouse trap. But you're not wanting to do that. What you're wanting to do is say, hey, essentially, I have a bunch of traps already with a bunch of dead mice. Let me go in and collect all those dead mice. So in order to do that, you want to do something different. You want to do a new trigger a zap event, okay? So now what we're going to do is now essentially what I would do is I would come over here to my broadcasting. I'll create a new broadcast. And this broadcast, I'm going to perform an action. And this action is going to be trigger a zap, all right? And this will be push, email, delete, all right? Because I'm going to come in and actually delete this zap when I'm done. All right, so that guy's done. So I need to actually build this guy out whenever a new zap event has triggered. So instead of listening when a custom field, I want to listen when a new zap event has triggered, all right? So now when that new zap event's triggered, I need to pick what event do I want to particularly listen to. Well, I want to listen to that push, email, delete. So whenever this event is triggered, then this process of zaps is going to happen. So this exact same. So now I'm good because it's going to essentially do the exact same thing that I'm wanting it to do right here. So now essentially it's actually good. All right. And now essentially what I can do is delete that guy right there. And then I can come back, and since that's put on, I can come over here and go next to my broadcast. And if I want, I could go in and automatically add a condition and say, hey, I want to send this if email has any value. So if this has any value, if it doesn't have any value, I don't want to waste my zap, right? So I had 397 users, and I can see about 50% of them, about 52% of them, 51% of them have given me my email. So I don't want to waste 49% of my user quota in useless zaps because they don't have an email. I still have to trigger that zap, and
because you have to pay for everything you do with Zapier.
Here's what I have to pay in Zapier. All right. So in Zapier, I've got to pay for this. All right. So I'm limited in Zapier based on this right here. The combination of these three steps is called a zap. All right.
Yes.
All right. Now this guy, and this guy, all of these guys are called task.
Yeah.
All right. So Zapier, and then I also have time.
Yeah.
All right. So Zapier uses these three components for my billing. Okay. They say on one billing, your time is every 15 minutes will trigger your zap. Zap can run every 15 minutes or every 5 minutes, depending on your plan. And they'll tell you you can have X amount of zaps or Y amount of zaps or Z amount of zaps according to your plan. And they'll also tell you you can process X amount of task or Y amount of task or Z amount of task according to your plan. So let's say if we had plan A, plan 1, they're going to tell us we can have, let's say, only every 15 minutes where our zaps fire. We can only have 7 zaps, which means we can have, let's say, 7. Now, these are complete arbitrage numbers. You have to check with them what they actually are. But we can have 7 of these entire flows, these linear flows here. And we can process up to, let's say, 100 tasks. So since this particular zap has 3 tasks, we know that essentially we could process this guy 33 times. Once we process this one zap 33 times, we will have consumed these 100 tasks and need to upgrade. So I don't want to, this is one task here. All right.
Yeah.
Now I don't, and this is another task. Now I could add a filter in here, which would be another task. But even this one task right here, I don't want to consume this one task if I don't have the user's email, because all I'm trying to accomplish here is get their email to that spreadsheet essentially. So
Yes.
if I don't have their email, I don't want to waste that. I don't want to waste that zap, because I mean, me particularly, I don't care, because to me, it's not really wasting it, because my level of Zapier, I get unlimited everything. So me, essentially, I do want to waste that shit.
In my way of thinking, you have to walk 100 buckets and only walk with the bucket when it's full.
Correct.
And there are only 25 full, for instance. Yes,
correct.
Okay.
So now I'm going to do that. So now I've filtered here to only get those 203. So I'll send that. And now that I'll send that, I'll come back over here to my spreadsheet and watch as this gets filled up with my data. Should have already started getting filled up with my data, and he's not getting filled up with my data. Because
doesn't matter. I know what you mean. So
well, he's not getting filled up with my. I'm gonna make him get filled up with my data. The reason he's not getting filled up with my data is because my Zap got turned off. So it got turned off because I majorly edited it. So
yeah, but I know the meaning of it.
Now that he's turned on, he's probably actually going to go in there and start firing off, because that broadcast should be actually going out still, even though he's not firing off. So he is firing off the right thing. That's that guy. That's that guy. So essentially what I need to do is go back to my broadcast and come back to this guy, copy and edit him, and then go next and send him out again. All right, now that I send him out again, now he should essentially come in and start filling up here.
Yeah.
But yes, I can do it that way. I can go in and grab all their emails that way if I want to.
Okay. So, for instance, somebody has a bot but has not the knowledge of making the Gmail, the Google Doc flow with the ManyChat flow. You can make it for him.
Yeah. So all the Zapier stuff we can make, and I do a lot of cool and different stuff through Zapier. So yeah, all this. If you want any type of functional bot, you got to use Zapier, because that's what's tying in your applications. That's what's allowing your bot to speak with other different applications. So. And I'm in the middle of building another software. So I got a bunch of different software that you guys can use. One of those softwares actually initiates that call process. And literally I'm in the process where
I want to see your software with the email collector.
With the
you know what I mean?
Oh, you mean you want to see?
You've got that crazy stylish email collector.
You mean this? You want to basically see this? This is Jeff Peeler. I don't think Jeff Peeler has any. Oh shit! I didn't want to log out. I don't think that he has any. I don't think that he has any actual data in any of his campaigns. So I don't think it's going to work if I use him. So I need to find a different actual user. I think. Hopefully this guy could be one of the guys that I need. So this guy has any profile? He does have a profile. Does he have any email messages? He does have some email messages. Does he have some contact us messages? He does. So essentially he has everything I need. So I could just essentially say, hey, I want to target Lakeland. Oh, so this is going to be Lakeland.
No, you're not. Wait. You're targeting Lakeland restaurants.
Correct.
But, what can I do with it? I want to try, for instance, in the Netherlands. What can I target in the Netherlands?
Whatever you want to target. You just put in what place in the. I mean, I'm not really that privy to the demographics of the Netherlands, but essentially what you want to do in the software is you want to target a geographic region that's not going to yield back more than 200 results through a Google search, because Google Places API won't allow you from an API call to query back more than 200 results from here, these Google Places. All right. So essentially I could do this same thing. All right.
Amsterdam. Yeah.
Now here, I'm assuming that these places, I'm going to go in, and how many of these am I getting? I'm getting 20 per page, right? I'm getting 20 results per page, and
yes.
Here's 10 pages.
And what's happening then?
What's happening here? Google's just giving me back all the different businesses that are listed that are tagged and have a Google place. So these are all Google businesses, right? That are tagged as restaurants in Amsterdam. So I could just go in and essentially grab this same guy back here and put him in here and then say Amsterdam, Netherlands, and then say, hey, I want restaurants. And then I can say, hey, I want to send these guys out a message about my restaurant bot. And I want to use my John Vaughn profile, and I want to send an email and fill out a contact us form. And then I'll go in and run this search. And whenever I run this search, it's going to take a little bit of time to run this search because it's going to go in and give me a list of all these restaurants right here. And then I'll get that list back, and then I can go in and actually process those guys and essentially what I would do in the software is I would go one by one to this guy. Found his website, go to his website,
collect his email.
Well, first I'm going to come here. I'm going to find this contact us page. I'm going to look to see if he has any contact us form. This guy doesn't. So I'm going to scrape this email right here because I do see this email. I'm going to scrape this email and send him out an email. Whatever email that you have here in these email messages, I'm using this restaurant bot. So essentially since I'm using this restaurant bot, is I'm going to use this message right here. I'm going to send him this message right here that says, hey.
Slowly. Email first message. So now you're going to send him a message. Messenger bot. And that's your. This
is my intro to a conversation with him, right? I'm going to be like, yo, dude, you own a message.
So what you're doing, you're grabbing, you're scrolling.
See all these guys.
Google Places, and then all the addresses come over here.
Correct. You see all these guys right here. So like I said, essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to go one by one to all these guys. And essentially I'm going to open up their website and I'm going to say, hey, do you have a contact us page? And you've got a contact us form. If you got a contact us form, I'm going to try to go in and actually submit this thing right here. All right. So I'm going to submit this thing for you. And I'm also going to see, do you have an email on your website? And I don't see one for this guy right here, but he may actually have one that is going to be in here somewhere. So he does. I would have found this one right here because he's got an email right there. So I would have got this email. I would have got this email right here. I would have got this email right here. All the emails. These are all the emails that whenever you submit his form's getting sent out to all those emails. So I'm going to scrape all those emails from him and get all those emails. And I'm going to submit this contact us form. Then I'm going to go to the next guy.
That's automated, eh?
That's all. No, all you have to do is this. Now you select all these guys, and then you select the guys that you want. You've ran that initial campaign, done your search, and given your options, and then you select these guys, and then you just say, hey, go in and process these guys. And he's going to be like, okay, this is going to take a little bit of time. And now he starts processing those guys there. All right. So now you're doing whatever you actually want to do. And then this guy's going in and actually getting processed. All right. So now you've actually started the process, and this is going to take some time, obviously, because we go in, like I said, to every one of their websites, we scrape their websites, and we start doing our actual process. So you just go away for some time, and like I said, you saw that initial campaign was actually 197 results, and you can see you've already sent one email so far from probably like your first or second guy. So this guy you send an email to, this first Clee restaurant. So now he's already got your email. You've already sent your email to him, and you're going to keep processing this guy until that list, is done. Here's another guy that got an email because we couldn't find a form for him. So, and you're just going to keep doing that over and over, and that's all automated. So,
okay. And the emails that are collected, can they also go into ManyChat?
Well, why would you put those emails in ManyChat?
Or no. This is just for email marketing.
If you want these guys in your bot, then you would do essentially what I just did. What did I do? I sent them an email with a link directly to my bot. And this is a ref link that they could click this guy. And where does this guy go? This guy goes to random demo bot.
Okay. Where can I find it? The direct link.
The direct link for what?
For your demo bot, for instance, when you go to ManyChat.
Oh, this is a ref URL. So I've went in here and I've went into my growth tools.
Yes.
And I created a new ref URL.
Okay.
And then I've picked a particular flow. For those guys, I picked.
Yeah, okay. You pick the flow and then you send the flow. Okay.
Yeah, I picked this particular flow that says, hey, I've created this demo bot for a generic restaurant to show you some things this bot could help your restaurant with. There are many things you can do with the bot for your restaurant. Here are just a few: bad experience help, book a table, showcase menu. So this guy's like, yeah, I do want to showcase my menu. That would be cool. So now he can see, hey, let's look at our menu, right? So now he can.
Okay, I've got a question, John. Can we make a deal for making the bot in Dutch and do some business together?
What's that?
Translate the bot in Dutch, the demo bot.
I mean, I could essentially translate it to Dutch with Google Translate, but I wouldn't be able to tell you whether that's fucking proper Dutch or not because I don't speak Dutch. So I would need a.
Then I translate it.
Yeah, I would need some.
Then we're gonna sell those demo bots in the Netherlands for 1,500.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what you would use this for. And that's essentially what this guy's going out and doing right now. Is he's going out even as we're talking. He's going out. He's already sent 14 emails and submitted 2 contact us forms. So he's already done that for you. So he's already contacted at least 14 businesses for you and delivered your message to those guys. See, this guy, he sent this guy and this guy. He filled out their contact us form and sent them an email. So sent them essentially 2 different messages.
And what was the message he sent? You can see the message.
Yeah, one of them he sent. You can't see it here. So, well, yeah, you can. He sent this message. He sent the first message. It's the only message that exists. So he sent him this message. He sent him this contact us message. So he submitted this through the contact us form, and then he sent this message via email.
Okay. This is great.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's an awesome software. I got users that have went in and paid. They just dropped $1,500 to start using this. So we sell this starting at $47 all the way up to $299 a month on this other platform. It's the same platform. It's this platform right here. And if you look, this platform right here is like the sales page for it. And this is the actual application for it right here somewhere. This is the application. And then ours, you can see it looks exactly like this. And even if you look at these training videos here, they're branded Rocket Contact, even though this says Robo Contact, because Rocket Contact is the same application, but it's an application that we actually built for one of our clients. And there's so many different ways that you can work with me and you can work with our company. And I try to help anybody within reason. And the deal that I worked out with this guy is that I would forego my profit. So I would give him my developer at the raw cost that what I consider my cost of production. So after I pay his salary and, give him an office and shit and the additional benefits that he has, his raw cost to produce without me getting any profit, I'll pass that cost on to that guy. What do I get in return for that? Well, I'm building this software where you're not exclusively owning the IP to this and you're not exclusively owning the rights. You're sharing those rights with me, all right? And we joint ventured on this launch. So we did a joint venture on this launch where I'm going to get a percentage with these guys. I get, I think it's 17% of the revenue that they make from this software. But then I also have the license to be able to, even though they paid me, they paid my guy, they paid my cost to build this software. So it didn't cost me anything, but I also didn't make any profit. I went through the process of having foregone profit. I excluded my profit and gave them my raw cost in exchange for a joint venture on their marketing every user that they get to pay them money, they owe me 17% of that. And also to maintain a joint license fee with them where I can also market the software as my own and sell it on my own for whatever price that I want and not have to give them any money for it. So obviously I'm more than willing to make an agreement like that, because now my resources cost is covered. It doesn't cost me money for him. And also the tangible delivery that I know that guy's going to produce, I get to share in its benefits. I get to recoup my profit from that joint venture, and I'm getting the revenue share with the money that you're making. And then I can also, if you can't fucking make any money because you suck at marketing, I can get my own users to go in and pay me a fee. And anything that I get from them is literally profit, because it didn't cost me anything to develop the software, because the client paid for the software and he didn't pay me. He paid me a much lower amount because we're in a joint venture agreement and I have licensing rights. And essentially we both collectively own rights to the software instead of just him. Obviously, if you own rights to the software and it's your software and you get to keep all the money that it makes, why the fuck am I going to do it with no profit, right? Why would I build it for my cost? That's just stupid. I would never do that.
Of course.
But
John, when I want to make such an action on the Amsterdam side with my with my credentials in it, where do I go?
I didn't understand where would you log into this software to use this software? You would come into our version of the software. You would come into the version where whatever you use, you don't have to pay whatever price they're charging here for this software. You don't have to pay them whatever price they're charging, and I get 17% of it. You just use this version of the software, which is the same version of the software. So you use this software because this is my version of it that I own and I'm allowed to market.
Yeah, you are allowed to market. So I go to robocontact.io.
Correct.
Okay, Robocontact.
And well, if you go to robotcontact.io, there's nothing you can do there because I don't do I don't do marketing, so I don't do any type of actual marketing at all. So if you actually go to RoboContact, there's no way to even buy this software because when I sell it, it's just in a transaction like this. I don't market and try to get users into it. I give it as I give this value because it's, where you can get it here is a minimum $47. And then you can see through your upgrades, it costs up to $297 a month, or you can pay everything at a year term and it ends up being like $1,500 if you pay for the $297 all at once.
That's too much for me. For me, it's just testing, and I try to sell it to other ones.
Yeah. So I let you have it for a really, really low cost, and it doesn't mean nothing to me because it's all.
And how much does it cost?
So you can get it for essentially $25 because I got a promo going where you can get this software, my invoicing software, this software, and then another one of my softwares.
John, do me a favor. Can you send that link to me where I can register to that software?
Yeah. So the link comes from this other software, another software that we give you access to. Now this doesn't allow you to collect what you guys. Well, it does, because essentially you guys over there are using euros, right? So you can collect money in euros with this. So essentially it's this guy right here. And this is a promo that I've got going on. It's only for people who are actually enrolled in this bot training class. No one else am I even giving access to it. It's right there, but it gives you access to those three softwares, to this software right here, which is an awesome software. This is a software that we would use if we want to initiate a phone call from the bot. We would do a Zapier integration with MiniChat and this software, and then now our user just gets an incoming phone call and they press put in their.
I've seen it in your trainings, but that's
not going to work for you because it works only in the US and you're not in the US.
Yes.
This invoicing platform would work for you, and this will work for you as well.
Yeah. For instance, I want to make a campaign on companies who are in what's the name? Vacation houses, holiday houses in my area. Second homeowners in my area. and then it's my area. Not Amsterdam, not Amsterdam. Again, up, please.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm just trying to do a search, and I'm not sure how you're actually going to find that, because you're not going to get these. You're not going to get these hotel listings. You're actually just going to get you're actually just going to get places, and this is not. This looks like an actual different API. I'm not sure. I'd actually have to go in and check this. But we can change this to whatever.
Amsterdam hotels. No, it's not Amsterdam. I want to try if it's working in my area, because it's a small area. It's spelled Renesse. That's Romeo Echo, November Echo, Sierra Echo, Sierra Echo.
C. How do you spell Shara? CHRA.
No. It's SSA.
Okay.
Yes.
SSA or SS Echo.
Yeah. SS Echo. Yeah.
Okay.
Renesse, and then restaurants. Yes.
That look like your area right there?
Okay. And how many do they get?
That just depends on Google and what Google wants to give us. So let's come in here and run a campaign for that. And let's check and see that guy. And then go in and put that guy there. And give him that restaurant bot, because that's essentially what he wants. And let's give him my profile. And then let's run a search and see what he gives us. Now, typically, I would not advise that you do this, okay? Typically, I would not advise that you run a search while you have this process going on, because essentially this process is using the Google API key to go in and fetch each piece of information, to go in and fetch all the information about each one of those businesses. So, and this is also using the same, but here you got 27 results back for this area.
Can you stop that one?
I mean, I could, but why would I? I'm just trying to get him to buy a chat bot. But yeah, I can stop that.
Yeah, stop it for me.
So he should be stopped. He's just gotta wait for a while. So he's stopped now, and I can look and see. It was this guy right here. And I can see, as far as he processed, he had a 34% success rate as far as he processed. And we stopped him, and he didn't process. All of these I can see he didn't even begin to process. But he processed all of these, and I can see send an email, email, no email, no form. So this guy didn't get contacted at all. Email. No email, no form. He didn't get contacted. But most everybody's getting contacted. So he's got, if we would have kept going, he probably would have had a 50-60% contact rate that he found all these guys and delivered your message to them. Really awesome tool. I mean, what you're trying to do here is just spark a conversation and start a conversation. So you're not trying to do like a full marketing and sales shit. What you're literally trying to do is like a short intro, just a 1 sentence or 2 sentence to get the guy to reply back to you and engage in a conversation and start your nurturing process.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's what that is, and that's a really cool software. So these guys developed it specifically. Well, I mean, they had us develop it, but they developed it specifically for that process, and they use it, and they use it internally like crazy. Like before they actually launched this, and they're doing about $80K a month in residual income coming from their users in this software. And before they even launched it to try to get any money, then they just used it internally to get, because they had about 6 guys that they paid in the Philippines. And what they would do is basically go to Google and run these searches in Google, and then literally go to each place, click on this, and do the same process, copy and paste a message into the contact us form and submit it, find their emails and send out an email. But I need just a second. I got to pee real bad.
Yeah, okay.
But it does work good. It's really cool software. So
This is good.
and it's just one of the many. It's just one of the many that it's just one of the many that I got. And if you're and I'm gonna the reason I did the promo on it is because during the last week of training, that's really what we're gonna focus on in the last week is we're gonna focus on how you can and what the most strategic way is to position yourself to build and start your own bot building agency where what you're doing is you're selling bots as a service. So you're finding clients, selling them the actual bot, and either developing it yourself or hopefully ultimately you're just throwing off the job to me, and then I'm going to get it done by one of my engineers that don't cost a lot of money because my dudes over here can build it just as well as you, as me, or as somebody sitting right next to you in the Netherlands, but they're going to cost a fraction of the actual cost. So it just makes more sense to have them fucking do it because it's the same shit. It just costs less money. So
yeah, that's why I'm. You've got the hangers, the influencers, and the man in between. And I'm an influencer, and I want the hangers to be in between. They know what is happening, but they don't know. It's about the bell. You know where the bell is, but you don't know where the hammer is.
right.
Yeah. And I know a little bit where the hammer is. You know it perfect where the hammer is and the bell. So I'm going to connect those guys who don't even know what is a bell. And then I'm going to put them through John. But there is one point in what way we're going to make the conversation, the building process. How this is the first time for me that I'm doing this abroad, and normally I've got some whiz kids over here, and I say, well, come over here. This is what I want. And how do I get my stuff with you?
Right. And so essentially for me in my ideal process, essentially for me is I'm not actually, in my ideal process, I'm not actually even in the process. That's my whole ideal is that I'm not actually in the process. All right. But essentially, in the ideal scenario, my involvement is as minimal as possible. But in the ideal scenario, if we're working with your client, all right. If we're working with your client, we would be working with your client to the extent that we are your company and we're an extension of your company. We're in the ideal scenario, we don't really want you to go get a client and drop them off to us. We want you to get a client and we want you to manage the client and make a profit from actually managing the client and then standing between us and the client, right? And you being the forward-facing person with the client because
that's what I am. My business name is the Laughing Octopussy. So I've got my tentacles everywhere.
So you're out there getting the client, you're coming up with the requirements by talking to the client, and then you're going to talk either with me directly or like I said, in the ideal scenario, because if you talk to me directly, obviously I'm going to charge for my time, right? So
Yes.
the ideal scenario is you just bypass me completely and you talk directly to my devs and you talk directly to my engineers, or you talk to a POC over here, you know, the POC just being the point of contact.
Yeah. Okay.
So if needed, what in the ideal scenario, when are me and you essentially going to talk? Well, God forbid you have any issues with the actual engineers and my staff, and you're having some dissatisfaction, then obviously we come in and we intervene. Other than that, we want to bullshit and talk about our weekend or something, or our families. That's a good time for us to talk. Other than that, the only time that we actually need to talk is when you have a client and you don't feel comfortable that you can figure everything out on your own, or you can really close the sale on your own. Then you can conference me in and say, hey, this is John. He's my lead engineer. He works for me. So I'm going to have him help me with this process a little bit because he's one of my most trusted employees. And you just introduce me as your employee. I work for you. I manage your offshore team that does everything for you. And then I interact with your client just in the way to actually sell everything, just to go in and do the requirement analysis and go in and use my brain to say, well, we could do this. We need to do this. Let's do this. And then I translate to you transparently in that call, more or less the production time that you should expect to that this is going to take. And you'll know based on a predetermined arrangement with me what the value is for each unit of that production time, so that I'm not going to say, you know, hey man, this is going to cost $5,000, and then you're going to have to tell your client, well, this is going to be $10,000. I'm going to say, hey man, this is going to cost 200 hours and take 200 hours to build this. And now you know our rate that we've agreed on between each other. So now you can easily translate that 200 hours multiplied my rate to figure out what it's going to cost you in terms of our agreement, what you're going to have to pay me. So, you know, you can just multiply that by your margin that you want to maintain. And that's the cost you need to tell your client. But essentially the client wouldn't be hiring us. The client would be hiring you. And the point of contact with the client is you.
I understand. But then when I'm hiring a contractor to build a house, I know what the price is. It's going to be for a cubic meter. It's 500 euros a cubic meter. It's a house from 1,000 cubic meters, so this is 500K. Yeah. So
Correct.
now I want to build a bot, and the bot, it's about fashion. It's a fashion bot, and those girls on the beach, they have a shop and they are selling stuff. How we gonna make that bot?
Well, essentially first we need to talk and figure out what those girls on the beach, what is it that they're really trying to accomplish. All right. They're trying to accomplish sales. All right. So
they wanna be polite. They wanna be interacting with the customers for the feeling. It's a feeling good thing. So when you're happy, we're happy. Come and have a sip on the beach. We show you some new shirts and etc., and then you buy them. They're high in price. It's not a $20 shirt. It's a $250 shirt, up to $700 shirt. And they're all fancy girls, and they live in fancy areas, and that's the thing.
Who's their clients? Are their clients? I mean, what's their clientele like? Are their clients local clients, repeat clients, or mostly foreign tourists that are just coming and visiting? They're going to buy one time and then leave the country.
A group of it's a pack of girls in a certain area who are looking at each other. When she's got one, I want one as well.
So
when you're wearing headphones and such a necklace, I want also headphones and such a necklace.
Right.
And right now.
Right. So I'm still a little confused on who their client is and what the bot's going to do that's actually going to help them and facilitate them. So if it's a girl with a shop, right, and she's selling real high-end t-shirts, okay, well, if her average client is some foreigner that comes, they buy one time only, and then they leave, all right, then there's a different approach that we need to actually use for the bot than if her client is a client that's going to come and is a local person that once they buy, then a month later she can send them out a message and say, hey, I've got this new shirt. Do you like it? Why don't you stop by and come see it? So if she's got that type of client,
That's it.
so if she's got that type of client, then the bot's great for her. Even if she's got the other type of client, the bot's really great for her, but we got to do some additional steps to get awareness in the bot so that people can go when they get to the airport or when they get to other tourist attractions, they can go in and they can access her information.
It's a company, they sell shirts, but they sell it to girls, and then they say, you have seen this in our web shop. You don't have to come over. We'll send a car with a personal shopper to your house. And when they are there, they bought a skirt, and they say, well, I've got a blouse with me. I've got some shoes with me. Try it on. It's good with each other. When you don't like the other stuff, we'll come with the car. We collect it and bring it back.
So essentially, essentially what they want to do is they want to promote, they want to get local subscribers into their bot, right? They want to segment those subscribers based on geographic areas so that now what they can do is they can say, look, I've got this girl. She's going out to meet this girl here in this area at 1 o'clock. So I want to broadcast out to my segment of audience that are closest to that area and say, hey, I've got my girl. She's going to be out here around this time frame. Would you like her to stop at your house as well? What types of stuff would you like her to bring? And then queue up now when she's going out to house A to do that showing that she's already there, schedule a couple other showings for her as well, where now a couple other clients in the area also want her to stop by. So that'd be a great use for the bot, because now they can go in and pipe back the information to her and say, hey, look, when you're done with this client, you've got 3 more clients from this broadcast that had said yes, come, notify me and come to my house within, as long as you're within this time frame, then I can talk to you and you can do my shopping and show me your stuff. So that would be something great, something obviously that they could do. So, and that's not super hard. I mean, obviously what we don't do here on our side is content and professional curated content. So we're engineers, we do engineering stuff. And part of that is not creating the professional sales copy and content. So we'll stub everything out and get everything working with generic copy, generic content. And then we just assume either you're going to be comfortable with using content written by an engineer that's probably not high quality converting content, or you're going to go in and actually replace the content with your own copyright, right? Yeah. So, but you don't have a lot there. You don't have a lot of things to actually do. You got the basic stuff that are going to be in your bot. Then you've got that segmentation process out, but then you also probably want to collect from that business owner what are normal. I mean, do they have a website already? If they've got a website, great. Let's look at their website and start to collect some of their content from their website and look at how they route traffic.
They have a website, but the girls' clothing shop is at the beach club, and the beach club, it's synergy between those. So when it's Mother's Day, all the ladies are coming over and they want to collect also the data and say, well, on Mother's Day, we have got a special offer for the ladies, etc.
Right.
But that's in the flow.
Right. That's not a big deal. So that, I mean, that's not a huge deal, but we'd want to see if they've got any type of web content that is specific to that beach stop, see what they're doing online so we can get some ideas from there. Ask them, kind of query them. What common questions are what are the specific types of items that you offer so that we can build out these categories and kind of show some of the generic items that you're kind of always having in stock, or at least create templates so that we can go in easily. Once you get new items, we can just update those in whatever generic categories we have. What are typical questions that your users are asking you, or what's a typical process that you take through your user before they actually convert, so that we can map that out in the bot? Typically most business owners understand that, usually I need to answer these 5 or 6 questions for somebody before they buy my shit, or I need to answer, they ask one of these 10 questions, and they usually ask a mix of 3 of these 10 questions. And after I answer those, then if they are able to buy, they go in and actually buy. So we'll figure that out, and then we'll build those flows out in the bot as well, so that if they ask one of those questions to the bot can just serve back the content to them and go ahead and answer the questions and essentially pre-vet and pre-qualify the lead.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Anytime you want, Joe, just let me know whenever you want to do it. So I'm pretty sure you're an action taker, and I owe you a one-on-one. So anytime you want to talk about that, just let me know.
I know. Okay. Can you send me the thing we discussed before to my email address? It's spelled info@Lima X-ray Bravo X-ray Hotel.nl. Info Lima no, Lima, that's the NATO alphabet. Alpha Bravo Charlie Hotel, etc. So it's spelled Lima X-ray Hotel X-ray Bravo. Excuse me, it's Lima X-ray Bravo X-ray Hotel. Excuse me.
No problem.
.nl.
And what did you want me to send you here?
Everything alike. The Google collecting email address thing. Yes, not invoicing you, the other one.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure what you're actually wanting me to send you, though. That's what I'm not getting. You want me to show you how to
the Amsterdam thing.
This? You want me to send you this?
Robo Acton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is our app where you would actually log in at. Okay. This is our app right here.
Yeah.
This is where you pay. And then this is the actual where you could find any of the sales content or the actual information about this application and what it actually does if you can't remember from the demo. So this is where all the sales content is. We don't do marketing or content, so I just refer people when they want to know what the hell this does. I refer it to the marketers that we built it. They built the marketing content, so I just use their content and say this is what it does, but you just purchase it from a different
I'll
URL.
have a look. And about the invoicing, the invoicing is 25 a month.
Correct. And you'll get full access to that software, and you'll also get access to the other softwares, regardless of whether they have a use for you. You still have access to them.
Yeah. Okay, that's no problem. Other question. I signed in at your thing, and that's a fixed price of 79 or something like that, or is it also with the 10K a month? I don't know.
I didn't understand what you were saying.
Can you see what I'm paying you in a month?
Can I see what you're paying me every month? Yeah, sure. I could go in and actually look and see what you're paying me every month. Is that the email that you use to pay me?
Yes, that's the email. Yeah.
If this is the email that you use to pay me, I can check and see what you're currently paying me every month. Right now, you're paying me, it looks like you're paying me $47 a month and maybe another $10. Let me check over here to see if you have, because I use 2 different accounts because they're for 2 different things. So,
and 47 a month, it's for
that's for the actual access to all the training videos and access to the actual 7 days of training, or the 5 days of training, the 35 days worth of training, all the replays, your Facebook ad spend, and then the continual addition of that training sequence runs every month. So every month it's going to be another 35 hours worth of new content that's added in there. So it's actually going to be a lot more than 35 hours worth of content, because it'll be 35 hours.
I know.
So that's what that's for. And then
I've heard you tell it 25,000 times, but I pay $10 a month, and I pay $74 a month.
47.
Is that correct?
47.
Okay.
10 and 47. So right now you're paying me a total of 57 a month is what you're paying me for right now.
57 a month. Okay.
Correct.
For instance, when I have a problem with my health and I want to stop it, how do I stop it? I know how to stop a bot. Then I say stop.
Yeah, you just do the same thing with me. You just reach out to me and say, John, I've been giving you this money. I don't want to give it to you anymore. And I'm just like, all right, I don't need this shit anyways. And it's such a low amount to me, no problem. So you just tell me, hey, I don't want to pay you anymore. And then
that is John. It's just a question, mate.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you do, Brom. You don't, man. This is fucking Hotel California. You think you don't want to pay me, and you're like, hey, John, I don't want to pay you. And I'm like, are you sure? I'm sure there's something you want to be paying me for. So let's figure out what you do want to be paying me. Obviously, I'm not giving you the value, so just let me come back and give you that value
John,
again.
John, I'm paying $57 dollars, and I've got for 10,000 euros of fun.
Yeah. So like I said, anytime you want, you just tell me, hey, I don't want to pay no more, and I don't have a problem with it. Then no problem. So don't pay no more.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, John. Good night from this side.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
man.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your night.
Bye-bye.